Hey everybody, welcome to the Wise Guys. It doesn't matter what Monday of the year it is, it's always a big night, and we've got plenty to talk about, which is the miracle of this live stream, the largest BYU sports live stream show in the world, the most watched collegiate sports live stream talk show on YouTube. I'm Dave McCann. That's Blaine Fowler.
Hey, it's another Monday night. There's nothing better than Monday nights to talk BYU sports.
That's right.
Hey, we talk BYU everything, really.
Yeah. We have no limits.
Yeah, because anyone that has some type of tie to BYU that's doing something great in the world, we like to spotlight that and bring them here on the show and spotlight them for all of you. And we're grateful for all of you out on the chat tonight that join us here every Monday night. Ridgecast, California is the first one in the house. Robert Robb, he's been here forever. It seems like hasn't Robert Robb been here forever?
Feels like it.
David Baggs in from Heber City, watching from Harriman is Ruth Strain. Orem checking in. So we're getting Utah County and locals covered. Ridgecrest is here from California. And then Beaumont, Texas in the house. Michael Zimmerman, a regular on the show. Neil Jones from Go Cougs from Tucson, Arizona. So we're grateful for all of you. And we know that this chat will just fill up. You can talk to us. You can talk to one another. You can talk to our guests. So
it's everyone's talking to everybody.
Have fun with that. Wise Guys is presented by Brady Plus and Mountain America Credit Union, and Wise Guys is distributed by the Deseret News. So you can watch for this week's new podcast tomorrow wherever you get your podcasts.
We encourage you to subscribe to our free email at wiseguys.com. You can also watch all our past content there, and we'd love it if you hit the free subscribe button on the YouTube channel as we continue to grow that. We've got a cool show tonight. They're all kind of cool. They're all a little bit different. Tonight, BYU football offensive line coach and the run game coordinator, TJ Woods, is here. And I'll tell you what, his players are bigger than ever. You go over to practice and you're like, whoa, that offensive line, that's a mountain he's got going on.
And you think about it now he's coaching all guys that he brought into the program, and they had a specific profile they wanted to bring in. We'll talk to him a bunch about that. These a bunch of long, big, athletic dudes up front with the Big 12's best running back returning to run behind that offensive line. So we expect BYU's run game to be a big, big part of their success in 2026. And we'll talk to TJ Woods about that. BYU basketball, big dance. How do you feel about the expansion? We'll talk about that.
Yeah, everybody's got an opinion on it. Yeah. I think it's awesome, but we'll talk some more about that. We've kind of already let our feelings known on that. Could A.J. Dybantsa be the next member of the Utah Jazz? It's all very possible now that the lottery order has been determined and the wheeling and dealing is underway. So we'll talk about, will A.J. stay home or is he going to go to the East Coast? And what does that benefit the BYU family the most? Having him go to the East Coast and being the man, or having him stay here at home?
Yeah, and everything, the Wizards have the number one pick, right? So we'll see. But the Jazz have two, so we're going to talk about that. What do the Wizards need? You know what? I think they're afraid if they don't take AJ, they're going to say, hey, we didn't take Michael Jordan.
Maybe.
They could be the Portland Trailblazers that didn't take Michael Jordan.
I know it. But we'll talk about that. Come on.
So
we'll get everyone's opinion.
Hey, Ruth Strain likes my shirt.
That's very nice.
This is from, which day I'm going? So this was the shirt I got for going on the cruise.
Nice.
Just a little hang loose BYU shirt. Really fun. So thanks for noticing, Ruth. That's really nice of you. So women's hoops. How about that? Delaney Gibb and Olivia Hamlin in the house, coming in. They'll be sitting in these two seats, and we'll give you a chance to meet them a little bit. Two phenomenal players, two of the best in the country. Clearly two of the best in the Big 12, but two of the best in the country. Delaney might be the best in another country.
That's right.
Because she represents Team Canada.
So here's how we roll in real time, because right now they're sitting in class on campus.
Right.
And before our show ends, they're going to be sitting here.
That's right.
Taking questions from us. So it's a busy Monday night for Delaney and Olivia. We're looking forward to having them here. The BYU superfan, Ryan Robinson, is going to be on the show. And we're going to launch a new thing here on the Wise Guys. Oh, you're all BYU super fans who join us on the stream, and we want to give you an opportunity to come on the show and be interviewed by us.
That's
Not
right.
just come on the show and say, hey, it's great to be on the show, but you come on the show and then we're going to ask you some stuff.
That's right. People are going to get to know you.
Yeah, so the sky is the limit on that. Let me move over this way so that Cougar head's in there.
This is
the sky's the limit on this one. I did tell Ryan, I said, you know what, pretty much how this goes with you will determine if we continue the segment. So no pressure.
Wow.
But he's coming in. And you know what? He's going to have to step it up.
And so everyone, he represents you in this seat.
So let's all cheer for him.
And it can be you, and we'll talk about that a little bit later, but Ryan's the first. I'm not going to say it's an experiment, but it's the first of many.
Yeah, hopefully. We're in the lab tonight with Ryan.
That's right.
And our Re-Lyte Athlete of the Week tonight is a student athlete that had a big game and a big moment that helped his team clinch a date in the postseason. So that's coming up a bit later tonight. We remind you, Wise Guys is presented by Brady Plus. Brady Plus provides cleaning, food service, packaging equipment, dispensers, and service for businesses coast to coast, including BYU, the Pentagon, and Disney World. In addition, Brady Plus has over 150 distribution facilities across the country, and a recent merger has boosted their employee numbers to over 13,000. At the head of it all is a BYU grad, Travis Brady, our good friend. Learn more at bradyplus.com.
13,000 now.
How about that?
That's they doubled the size of their workforce.
Yeah.
And Travis is responsible for that many families that work there, which is incredible. Mountain America Credit Union, another of our title sponsors, helping people achieve their financial dreams for over 80 years. Whether you're buying a home, planning for retirement, or managing daily expenses, Mountain America has the tools, the technology, and guidance to help you succeed. There's a lot of information waiting for you at macu.com.
And our Re-Lyte Athlete of the Week is presented by Redmond. The secret's in the salt. Learn what it can do for you at redmond.com. We have a big announcement to make. Redmond Night with the Wise Guys.
Yeah, we're excited about this. So we're thrilled to invite all of you, anybody that wants to come to Redmond Night with the Wise Guys. It's going to be on Monday, June 15th. What are we doing? What are we doing at this thing, Dave? What are we doing?
We're going to have, there's going to be food. There's going to be Re-Lyte drinks. There's going to be special guests. We'll be on from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., our usual time, in the parking lot of the store there, the Redmond store, which is it's the Redmond Heritage Farm Store on 8th North in Orem. That's the home of Redmond Re-Lyte. Again, special guests, free tacos. That should get us all there.
Yep. Re-Lyte drinks.
Re-Lyte drinks. And we'll be right there in the parking lot. And we invite everybody who can get there to get there and hang out with us from 6 to 8. It'll be our first remote show. So come make history with us. Redmond Night with the Wise Guys, June 15th at the Redmond Heritage Farm Store on 8th North in Orem. And remember, when it comes to Redmond Re-Lyte, the secret is always in the salt.
That's right.
Right over your shoulder. There it is. So Harvey Scott's going to be on with us as we get closer, but tonight we're announcing it. So make your family home evening plans for June 15th to come spend a few minutes with us, have a taco, and have a good time.
Yeah, and we're going to have some great guests on the show that you can meet that are related to BYU athletics. Mm-hmm. And for those of you that are like, where is the Redmond store? It's kind of hidden back in there. If you go on the corner of State Street and 800 North, you would hang a left toward the freeway.
There's a Sonic.
Yeah, that's what everybody knows. The Sonic's on the right-hand side. There's a strip mall in behind there.
And that's where the store is.
And that's where it is. It's in the eastern end of that strip mall, and it's a beautiful facility. You can stop by and check it out before the Redmond Night. But
buy some stuff.
Yeah, get some stuff. And they have a nice little cafe there. All their stuff is like organic, farm-to-table type stuff. So I was just over there for lunch the other day. So anyhow, join us that night. That's going to be great. If you can make it out there, be out there with us. Our first live remote event. We'll see how it goes.
We'll talk about it a lot between now and then. We're really excited about it. And June 15th is a perfect night. It'll be warm. Mm-hmm. It'll be in the evening. And and we'll have some cool guests. So put that on your calendar. We'll remind you a few times between now and then. The Re-Lyte Athlete of the Week is presented by Redmond. The secret is in the salt. Learn what it can do for you at redmond.com. Our pleasure to announce Matt Hansen as the Re-Lyte Athlete of the Week. Tell us what he did.
Well, BYU went to Texas Tech over the weekend, needing a win to clinch a spot in the Big 12 tournament. So win and get in, lose, you're not in. After dropping the first game on Thursday, Hansen and the Cougs offense showed up Friday with big intentions. The sophomore from Colorado Springs hit a solo home run to lead off the second inning and give BYU a 3-0 lead. It was just his second home run of the season, but man, was it timely. Then in the sixth inning, he comes back up and hits a 3-run home run for his first multi-home run game as a Cougar. How about it's like you don't have a bunch all season long, but when it matters most,
You get them.
you get them. And then BYU rolled to a 12-3 victory. They'll be in the Big 12 tournament next week and surprise Arizona with more overall wins this last year, more Big 12 wins, more Big 12 series wins. It was a big jump forward for the baseball team in the Big 12 this year. And Matt Hansen is our Re-Lyte Athlete of the Week because that great clutch performance when they needed it. Redmond, the secret is in the salt. Learn what it can do for you at redmond.com. Click on the link in the chat, in the show notes for a discount code. It'll give you 15% off of Redmond products. And by the way, I use that 50% off.
Yes.
That's how I get my Re-Lyte.
It's legit.
Yep.
It works. And Matt Hansen and the Cougars will be back on the field tomorrow night against Utah Valley. And then Kansas on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday to wrap up the regular season. And then next week in the Big 12 tournament. So we congratulate the Cougars. BYU football news. There's more polls. They just keep coming out in their post-spring top 25. College Football Kings ranks BYU number 9 and Texas Tech number 11. Notre Dame is number 2. Houston's number 18 and Utah's number 21. And Oklahoma State out of nowhere comes in at number 24. They went and got a whole new team from North Texas and then they bought some guys. And now, CFB Kings goes, I'm putting them at 24.
There you go. Well, and lots of teams ranked in the conference. And notice that since Sorsby's kind of had his mishap with gambling, the projected starting quarterback for Texas Tech, all of a sudden BYU and Texas Tech have changed places in all of these polls. Now,
Yeah, I
BYU,
like that too.
Yeah, I'm
like
perfectly fine
those
with
guys.
I'm not happy that something bad happens to somebody, but
No, but we are happy.
I'm happy to see BYU
that the
ranked as,
pollsters
all the pollsters think BYU is the best team
are
in the Big
seeing
12.
that differently.
We're very happy about that. So CBS Sports post-Spring Bowl projections has BYU against Washington in the Alamo Bowl.
So they got us going back to San Antonio.
Yeah, which it's not a bad place to be, and they do a great job with it. But I want to see BYU in that CFP. But they have SMU versus Texas Tech in the college football playoff. So I'm wondering if CBS didn't get the news that Sorsby might not be playing quarterback.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's what we don't know. And so
You think they probably did, but anyway, that's what they've come up with.
Utah's again. They have the Utah versus South Carolina in the Texas Bowl, and then Houston and Louisville in the Pop-Tarts Bowl. We had a great experience at the Pop-Tarts Bowl. They do a great job with that bowl. And then Michigan versus Alabama in the Citrus Bowl.
So you know what that tells me? That tells me in Kyle Whittingham's first year, they don't think they're going to beat Ohio State.
Interesting, right?
Yeah.
So.
Or Oregon, maybe.
We know they're loaded with talent. So
my sister Molly over in Colorado Springs watching the stream tonight says yay for Matt Hansen. His family's in her ward.
Oh, that's awesome.
Over in Colorado Springs. That had nothing to do with him getting the award. He earned the award, so it's not any insider information. Although, you know what? We're not beyond doing that. Yeah. But he earned his way in for the Re-Lyte
he sure did.
Athlete of the Week.
Hey, why does our good super fan Sylvia Texador want to make you feel bad? Because she says, Dave, the Cubs were on a 10-game winning streak until they lost twice to the Rangers.
Why
bring that up, Sylvia?
I see that note that she's emphasizing that we had a 10-game winning streak, the second one of the season, and then we did lose to the Rangers.
Basically what you're saying is you're a half full guy. She's not emphasizing that then all of a sudden they lost.
Right. Yeah, I didn't even read that second part. I just went with the 10-game.
Because I don't want you to be in a funk for the whole show just because your team lost.
Thanks, Sylvia. And I like to think, Sylvia, you're in Wisconsin and you're a Cubs fan. Let's just go with that. But yeah, they've been playing great. All right, so this is the time of year when TV times start to get released.
Which
a little bit here,
real.
a little bit there, but yeah, it does make it feel close. So Fox Television put out their Friday night schedule. They got 5 Big 12 teams featured in their lineup. We're not going over their whole lineup, but we'll talk about the Big 12 games. Mm-hmm. And the first one has Kansas against Missouri in Lawrence. I think it's in their new stadium. Mm-hmm. September 11th, 6 o'clock on a Friday night. On Fox, it'll be our first chance to see the Jayhawks. We'll see them later in the season.
Yeah, and then Houston's at Texas Tech on September 18th at 6 p.m.
That's a big one.
Yeah, and Houston was... I think BYU surprised a lot of people last year, but not as much as Houston surprised people last year. Houston was maybe the biggest surprise in the country last year. So that's a big game early. West Virginia's at Utah on November 27th.
So that's Thanksgiving Friday.
Right.
And then BYU, we know, has one Friday night game, November 9th against Iowa State here in Provo. That's not a Fox game. That's going to be an ESPN game.
Right.
And we're still waiting for details on that one. But
how late? Are you and I going to be doing a post-game show at 1 o'clock in the morning?
You better believe we are.
So.
But it'll be nice weather, and Coach Woods will be happy because they play better at night. And it'll just be a phenomenal evening.
Yeah.
But it does mean you and I will still be working when Coach Woods is asleep.
Yes.
That's how that day's going to go.
Yep.
He might start his day earlier than us, but ours
will end after
finish it.
Unless he's going to go break down film after the fact at 1 a.m. over at the football office, which I don't think he should.
I know he shouldn't, but he might.
But
we'll ask him.
So you tell him about playoff expansion, and then we'll have Coach Wood.
This is interesting. The American Football Coaches Association's Board of Trustees recommending the college football playoff be expanded to 24 teams beginning in 2027, not this season, but next season. And they also want the conference championship games eliminated so they can start earlier, like the next week after the regular season they would start, because they are recommending the championship game be played on the second Monday of January, not 2 weeks later like it has been. And the college football playoff commissioners meet next month, and they're kind of expected to go with this. We'll see. It's never done until it's done, but this seems to be the move that they're going to. So, you know what? Would teams be more happy to be in the playoff as opposed to be in their conference championship game with a chance to win that game and then go to a playoff where there are fewer teams?
It's an interesting question. I'll say this, that BYU would have been in the playoff the last 2 years without question, like comfortably inside the playoff. So based on that, I'm probably for it, right?
Our first guest tonight's in charge of building that big wall to protect Bear Bachmeier and use that same wall to open holes for LJ Martin. It's a versatile wall of power, and he's pretty good at it. Our pleasure to welcome back offensive line coach and run game coordinator TJ Woods, the Wise Guys. Welcome. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to be back. Appreciate you guys having me.
The place is pretty much the same since you were here.
We don't change it.
But you know what? The Statue of Liberty is pretty much the same every year when you go see that.
Yeah, there you go.
Right?
Exactly.
Well, you heard us just talking about this expansion to 24. Our first thought, both of us, was that's probably a good thing. What's your thought on expansion to 24? If it happens.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, a lot of that's above my pay grade, so I try to stay in my lane as much as I can. But I think there's positives and negatives. I prefer the bowl structure, to be honest. I think there's more winners that way. I think the more teams you invite to a playoff, there's going to be more disappointment in those fan bases, right? There's more teams losing their last game. That's the bottom line. And so I think that part's a little challenging, but in the same breath, I think it's the most discouraging part about college football, I think sometimes, is who's getting in, right? Who the eventual champion is and all that type of stuff. And we all want to crack at that. So I think in the end, if that's what it takes, that's what we're going to try to get done.
If it goes through, that'll give BYU one more year to win the Big 12 championship game,
right?
Which is a priority. How motivating is that to getting back to Arlington and getting that done for the guys?
Very, very. I think, our guys are very motivated, obviously being there, experiencing that, not coming out on top. There's definitely some salt in the wound. I know, especially for the offensive line, I think we'd like another crack at that game. Like to be able to put another performance up against a formidable opponent. That defense, I don't know, it's a side note, but we were just looking it up. I think they had 4 of the top 30 defenders drafted in the entire country in the box.
Multiple first-round draft picks, right? Multiple. Off of that front. Yeah, they're really good. We got to give them credit for that. We're not going to dwell on the negative, though, on the loss, because over the last couple of years, BYU's 23-4, which is remarkable. In what ways have you seen the confidence level go up for this team and the internal expectation? I mean, we know that the fans' expectation is always that, way up here, sometimes not reasonable. But confidence and expectations internally, what have you seen in terms of a change over the last couple of years?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously the culture that Kalani sets up and is second to none. But I also think a lot of our players come from successful experiences, come from successful lives. They have high expectations of themselves, right? And So I think obviously our confidence is pretty high right now. We've been successful. We won a lot of games. We've come out on top. So, we're riding high on that right now. But, I think at least from my standpoint, from the coach's standpoint, I think a little bit that, the leading cause of failure is mismanaged success. And I think that's our challenge right now, is making sure that we keep our nose to the grindstone and make sure we don't forget what got us here.
Everybody's been out recruiting. You've been out recruiting. This is a busy couple of months for the future of the football program. How does 23-4 resonate with the recruits that you're meeting?
Very well. Yeah. I mean, it's a powerful thing to be able to go in and into these recruits' homes, because, now we get so many more opportunities to do that. But to be able to sit in family rooms across the country and, be able to express the difference that BYU is, and to try to explain that to families, but in the same breath, be able to explain the football success too, that, we're really not sacrificing anything on the field in order to have our culture and our morals and our values, is very, very powerful.
And it's interesting. I don't know if the times are changing, but it seems like, hey, come to a place that has a high moral standard, that has high expectations, and win football games. It seems like that's resonating more and more, and we think maybe society's going downhill, but it really resonates with more and more kids and families, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I tell people all the time, this place sells itself. I think the hardest thing about BYU is just it's hard to explain. It's a feel that you get when you're around the people that surround not only the football program, but the university, the community, the city, like everything, right? From the time they get off the plane in Salt Lake Airport all the way until they're going back home. I think that every kid, at least that I've recruited, has been very wowed, I guess, for the lack of a better word, but taken back by the difference. It's palpable when you get on campus and you get around the quality of people that we're all surrounded by.
BYU offensive line coach and run game coordinator TJ Woods on the Wise Guys, presented by Brady Plus and Mountain America Credit Union. What 3 words would you use to describe your offensive line?
Smart, tough, and together.
Not big, because they are huge.
They are big, yeah. I mean, yeah.
If there was a 4th word, you'd go big.
Yeah.
Smart, tough, and together. All right, elaborate on that. That's a pretty good description of a group of young men.
Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, I think I'm the luckiest coach in America. I get to coach guys that obviously love football, are dedicated to that, but they're sharp, they're successful, they're caring, they're selfless. They do a lot of things that make me look like a good football coach. I can tell you that. So I'm very lucky to coach guys like Bruce Mitchell, guys like Andrew Gentry, Kyle Saforchuk, Sonny Mocassini. The list goes on and on. I mean, every one of these guys, I wake up every day fired up and very blessed to be able to represent them.
It's interesting that you use the word smart first, and having played on the offensive side at the quarterback position, you cannot understate how important it is for that group up front to really understand everything and help with the calls and do all of that. Did you place that descriptor first because it's the most important thing?
I think so. I would say that's what I think separates these guys from other groups that I've coached. Not to compare, but I'm probably one of the more dull guys in the room. I mean, they're all really sharp. And I think the thing about football is the defense, is trying to confuse 2 groups of people. It's the offensive line and the quarterback, right? And that, having played the position, they're very in tune in the back end of trying to give you looks that you think you're seeing and then giving you something else. And the front is definitely doing that to the O-line. And so if you're, sharp and you can handle, you have the bandwidth to handle the volume that you're seeing, you don't get fooled as easy. And I think that's one of our biggest strengths. And I mean, that was all the way back to Connor Pay, having Connor out on the field is like having a coach out there, right? Yeah. And now he's coaching with us now too. Right. I'm just like, but Bruce is the same way. Gentry's the same way. Sonny Mocassini. These guys, half the time we're in the meetings now. We've been together for long enough where they'll answer the question before the question's even asked because they know the response. They know what the defense is trying to do to them. So to me, I think that's the first step, is getting 5 guys that can recognize all of that. And then, together was the third word I mentioned. Mm-hmm. I think that obviously toughness, that comes with the territory. Like
you can't play if you don't have that.
If you're not tough, like you, I don't know. I can't help you.
Right.
You got to like the taste of violence. And if you don't, then there's other things out there.
There are other sports.
Right. I mean, golf's fun too,
golf
right?
is great.
But O-line ain't going to get it done, But the other thing I think this group has is they are together, and they're very close. And I think that's the other thing that, is sometimes understated, is just chemistry and how important, probably liken it to a receiver and a quarterback, and knowing where that guy's going to be, before he's there. O-line is very similar. You got to play together, and you got to be able to trust each other. And I think that's one thing these guys do really well.
Let's talk about something you're really good at, is taking these big, nice, some return missionaries, all really good guys, but then you've got to find the violence thing or something, because it's war out there in the trenches, right? It's survival of the fittest. So how do you get them to that next level? Because that's your job as the coach, and you do it. What's the secret?
Well, I think the first thing, it's controlled aggression, I would say. Offensive line, you can't just go out there and lose your mind, okay? Because when emotions go up, intelligence goes down, right? And so that's the first thing. But what was your question again? I'm sorry.
How do you get them to elevate into that space?
Yeah. So I think the other thing is the mentality. So physicality requires a mentality, and mentalities can't be taught. They have to be trained. And I think that's the number one thing that we do, is we go out there and it's survival of the fittest, right? I mean, we go out there and we kind of show them what it takes, and we help them with the techniques and all of that type of stuff. But it's also part of the process of helping them grow by doing it, and then gaining confidence and believing in themselves that, oh, wow, I actually did that. Okay, I know. Let's go to the next thing, and let's kind of build on that and start stacking those achievements. I think that's what builds confidence.
Last year you had Carson Ryan, who really emerged as signed in the NFL, right? So, but emerged as an every down type tight end that can play as part of that unit up front, because sometimes he's involved in pass protection, not running out and running around, but clearly involved in the run game. And now you got 2 new tight ends coming in Saliapaga and Lyons. They seem like they're similar weapons. How do they fit into what you're doing as the run game coordinator?
Well, I mean, so far in spring, both of them have shown the ability to block. I would say, just to piggyback on your statement about Carson, I mean, there are a lot of reps and a lot of games, quite frankly, where, you could argue he was the most physical blocker on the field at times. And that's saying a lot coming from the O-line coach too, right? He did a heck of a job. Coach Gilbride does a heck of a job with those guys too. But, that's something that in my mind is a big piece that we're trying to replace this year too. Something, you kind of overlook that, I think, at times, like, oh, well, we're losing these many starters on the O-line. Well, we also lost a real physical tight end. I think Carson is as good as anybody I've ever been around at being good at everything, right? Usually, you have tight ends that are really, really good at this one thing.
And you have to kind of situationally use them, right?
Correct.
With Carson just felt like, well, you just play him every down. He's fine. Because he can do everything. And that, people don't realize how rare that is. Correct. And those are guys that make it in the NFL.
Correct. And I think you see the NFL obviously saw that too. They drafted him, and they're fired up about him. And we're fired up about Walker and Roger both. I think both those guys are going to do really big things in the run and the pass game this year. And so we're excited.
When you have a blocking tight end, one who can catch, which is a bonus, but when you have a blocking tight end to join the other 5, it just gives you such a huge advantage, as opposed to when that guy would just rather go out and catch passes.
Correct. Yeah, I think there's a big difference between a tight end and a receiver that's putting his hand in the ground, and I think the mentality there, you got to take a little bit of pride in getting down with the offensive line and getting a little dirty, and Carson definitely did that. And I think these guys will too.
Yeah, I knew that he was doing his job when I would talk to the offensive linemen, and they would tell me how much they love Ryan. If the offensive line loves a tight end, he's not afraid to get down and dirty, right? So,
and the trick there is that he can't just be a blocker either, else they're going to treat him like another O-lineman.
Right.
He has to be able to go out there and catch passes and get open and all those things. That is definitely a prerequisite for the position. But like I said, Carson did a heck of a job at all of it.
Well, now he's at the Cleveland Browns catching passes and doing stuff. It's crazy.
So good. We're thrilled to have BYU offensive line coach TJ Woods on the Wise Guys live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and wiseguys.com. So when you have weapons like LJ Martin, who's coming back as the leading rusher in the Big 12 from last year, and then you also have a quarterback in Bear Bachmeier that can run the ball, very capable runner. He likes to run the football. How does that impact the offensive line when you have first of all, an elite level running back, but also a quarterback that's so involved in the run game? Does that change the way the offensive line thinks or blocks, or how does that change things?
Well, I think it's inspiring for them for sure. I think any offensive lineman that has a quarterback that they know is excited about running the football and isn't just doing it because he has to, or he's I think he kind of automatically becomes one of the guys, right? And that's definitely Bear. I mean, he's got a heck of a relationship with those guys. They all respect the heck out of him. They take it personal when people hit him, and I think that's a good situation. But he's out there wearing number 47, and he's running. I don't know, you guys might not remember the play, but we're running early in the year. We're against Stanford, and we're running quarterback split zone, and we motion the tight end in, and we run split zone, and we botch it up front. We don't get to the backside linebacker. He is scot-free on like the 2-yard line. And Bear just runs him over and scores a touchdown. How is, if you're the left guard, how do you not just absolutely fall in love with that as your quarterback?
Yeah. Right? It's a challenge too, because 1 second you're pass blocking, and then the next second you could be run blocking.
Yes.
So what does that do to this offensive line in a play that just started?
Well, I mean, I think they just adapt, and they know if he takes off and runs, like, they're interested in following him because they know it's going to be a good one. I think that's the big key. So
you know what? They don't get very many holding calls.
Yeah,
we call too many of those. And when you're thinking, I've got a pocket here, and all of a sudden the pocket, I don't need the pocket anymore because the guy just ran past me. I think that's a lot for Bruce Mitchell to kind of see, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it is, and we have to train him that. If you got a mobile quarterback that kind of breaks the pocket, we teach him to vice up and hold obviously within the rules. And when the D lineman tries to run away, you got to let go. And especially that happens a lot for tackles when the quarterback breaks the pocket horizontally. That's usually when those get called more so than Bear's more of a. He's going to pick an alley and get north and south. So
when I played with Steve Young, I was a freshman and the year behind him, and so he was our starter. And I remember at first the tackles got caught a lot because he would just take off. And finally our offensive line coach, Roger French, just said, guys, Steve runs 4.35. If he gets the angle, you don't need to hold that guy. He'll just beat them to the edge. So just let him go, right? And once they learned that, then Steve just took over games, and they have to actually adjust to that.
Sure. It's definitely a skill that you got to learn, and obviously repetition is, especially as a lineman. Once you get that guy locked up, it's like I'm trying to keep you here with all my might. It's hard to just kind of surrender. But yeah, that's definitely a thing. And I want to make sure I mention too. You mentioned LJ. I mean, what a incredible asset he is. I mean, he is so fun to block for, and just such a great person, a great kid, and tremendous talent. And we are all. I hope everybody that watches BYU football appreciates his talent and how lucky we are to have him.
With him being fully healthy, this is like 2 years in a row now where he's been, a healthy guy. If he can stay healthy, and that's everybody's job to keep him healthy, right, for the whole season, what's the limit for that guy?
I don't think there is any. I've been a part of some really good running backs, and he's right up there with all of them. The thing that in a perfect world, durability is such a big piece for football in general, right? I mean, availability is your best ability, right? And, we tell the O-linemen that all the time. But one of the things that happened with LJ was, the carry started to get high because of the injury situation that we had, and then we ended up losing him because of it. So I would hope this year that we can keep his carries a little bit down. I'm sure he's not going to be real fired up at hearing that, but just for the longevity of the season for him, staying healthy, that it's hard to run physical and take defense out and take some football out of the defense every time like he does. It's hard to do that 40 times a game. You know? It's much easier to do it 20 or 25.
It's better to be 20 and average 6.6 yards a carry than carry it 35 and average 4.
Exactly.
Right. And that's the goal.
Exactly.
Right?
And I think, we have, Sione Moa is a tremendous talent too. I mean, he's fun to hand the ball to too. You know what I mean? And Devon did a really good job in the spring. We're excited about him. And,
is this Eka? Is that the freshman? Yeah, we've heard he's a nice little changeup, right?
Yeah, he's a good player, and some of those other guys too are doing a good job. Preston Rex, some of those guys. So we're excited.
Good stuff.
It's the only offensive line in the Big 12 that's returning their Offensive Player of the Year. So what does it mean on a pride factor for your 10, 11, 12 guys to know that they're blocking for LJ?
Yeah, I mean, I think it gives them a bunch of confidence, right? It's like we're not wondering what this guy can do. We know what he can do as long as we let him do it. And, I think there's a level of expectation there too for the front, right? It's like, okay, listen, we know what happens when we give him a chance. Let's make sure we keep doing that. And I'd say the same thing about Bear. It's like we got two good dudes back there in the backfield that whoever's as an offensive lineman, when you sit there and you're like, okay, it doesn't matter what we're calling here. It doesn't, we could throw it, we can run it, we can do a little bit of both. We got tremendous football players that are taking care of the football. That's a really fun place to be as an offensive line.
It's a great thing. Well, as you get through the summer here, and we know that that's a very important part of the process for these guys to get bigger and stronger and get healthy and build chemistry. But when they report to fall camp, what are you most eager to see?
I'm most eager to see their improvement over the summer. One thing at BYU, we get a longer stretch. Spring ball's a little bit earlier, and so the progression and the development of these guys, I think you see a little bit, especially for us. We played later bowl game again. It's a pretty quick turnaround for the strength and conditioning staff, all of that stuff for those guys to kind of get their hands on the guys. So I'm most encouraged. My favorite day of the year is the first day of fall camp, because you get to come back and just see, some of these guys, their muscles have muscles. You know what I mean? It's like, it's fun. It's fun. And
some of these married guys come back with a few extra pounds.
Yeah,
too.
yeah, that's true.
That better not happen.
Yeah, we got to combat some of that. But even right now, all the guys are off, and I'm in this week because the recruiting piece has changed a little bit. Now we're not quite on the road as much as we used to be, but there's 7 offensive linemen that we're in today getting extra work. That's voluntary, and we have those type of guys. They love ball.
That's fun stuff.
Explain the trickle down of there's Aaron Roderick, the offensive coordinator. There's Harvey Unga, the running backs coach. There's the run game coordinator, which is you, and there's also the offensive line coach, which is you, and then you've got Coach Gilbride doing the tight ends. How does it all
and Fessy doing the wide receivers?
And Fessy, how does it all work? And you're a big piece in all 3 of those things.
Well, I think the first reason why it works is because A-Rod is a tremendous leader, and he's empowering. Kalani's the same way. I think that's what makes him so unique. They're not micromanagers. They trust you to do your job, and I think that's the only way in this business that you really feel like you can put your best foot forward and feel like you can take some ownership in certain areas, right? Yeah. And it's very collaborative. Fessy has run game thoughts, right? Like it's not just compartmentalized. We get together and we kind of go over whatever the agenda is that A-Rod has for us, and then we'll break up, and we'll get into our different kind of specialties, and then we'll come back together and we'll try to piece together the whole game plan. So it's, I know there's the titles and all those type of things, but it's far more collaborative than I think the titles lead on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have to tell you, Gavin and Abby were over at the house before I left. And I said to Gavin, he had just come back down from Ogden. I'm like, hey, TJ's on the show. And he goes, oh, TJ's awesome. I love TJ. And Abby was like just over, and she goes, let me tell you something. TJ's wife, I love her. She's the absolute best. And I'm like, wait, are you saying she's better than TJ? And Abby's like, yeah, absolutely. She's the absolute best. So shout out to your wife, who my daughter-in-law thinks is the absolute best. She absolutely loves her.
Well, she'll appreciate that. She is definitely my best recruit. So,
What's on the vacation plan? What are the Woods going to be doing this summer?
I'm not sure yet. We might venture down to Hawaii late. We usually go somewhere that 4th of July week, But I tell you what throws a monkey wrench for me is this concert that they put on every year.
Stadium of Fire.
We can't miss it.
It's going to be awesome.
I know. We can't miss it.
You go to Hawaii the next day.
Yeah, so it's like we kind of, so the kids are off that week, so I always try to, take my vacation the week they do, just so we can be back in the summertime working with them and stuff.
Fun stuff. Brad Paisley's dad comes on the show quite a bit on this show.
Oh,
They're
really?
big West Virginia fans.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
So when we
Brad
got in the same
opens,
league.
anytime he does a tour, he opens at West Virginia University, and they've been a part of that and contributed and done all that for years. So his dad Doug comes on the show whenever we're playing West Virginia in any sport. He'll come on the show and give us a preview, which is awesome. Great, wonderful family.
Yeah. We're working on getting Brad on before Stadium of
Fire.
Fire.
Come on with us.
That'd be big, man.
So,
He's good.
He is really good.
He's good.
Really good.
Hey, thanks for carving out some time in your week.
Anytime.
We appreciate what you're doing, and I know that your players love you. That's what they tell us, and that's always a good sign, as opposed to, I hate that guy, It's funny because Roger French back in the day was this rough, and would see him as media guys or kids, and we're like, man, who is this guy? But man, his lineman would go through a wall for him because he
his
connected
nickname
with them.
when I was playing was the Creature. I don't even know what that means. But.
Yeah. It's funny. I'm starting to some of the Coach French stories are trickling down.
I've got a couple. I think they're all true. When I'm in practice one day, we've been. I have to tell you a couple that are just unbelievable about Coach French.
And one thing I will say too, man, I'm very appreciative that they feel that way about me. But I hope everybody knows, and hope they know too, that my love for them is very strong, and I'm very appreciative of what they do for all of us.
You can tell by how you talk about them.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, thanks, Coach, for coming on.
Appreciate
Always
you guys,
good to
man.
see you.
Happy summer. We'll see you at practice here before too long.
Yeah, sounds good.
Not until August. So,
but it'll get here fast. Yeah.
And maybe we'll see you at the 4th. Dave's emceeing the 4th of July again.
We'll see you. We'll see you there. If we don't see you there, we'll know you're on a beach, so we'll be just as happy for you.
Yes.
So.
Yeah.
TJ Woods, offensive line coach.
Thanks, TJ.
Run game coordinator for BYU. Thank you. And his group up front is a big part of that 23-4 record over the last 2 years. So it's great to have him in here and pick his brain a little bit. By the way, after further review, speaking of things coming, 12 weeks from tomorrow on BYU TV, and the cycle is back.
Yep.
That's great having Coach Woods here.
Yeah. They'll start at the 1st of August. We started in the 1st of August with AFR.
That's how we do it.
And you know what? We never stop on Wise Guys. So we'll be giving you some previews and talking about football, like everything. Even in the month of July, we'll be here doing that. So, but August kicks off AFR, and that's when football season's ready to roll.
It's another exciting week because the NFL football schedule is getting released on Thursday, and that is the trickle down of things that you look forward to.
Yeah.
And there's been a couple of things today. The Cowboys and Giants were announced for the first Sunday night game of the season, September 13th in New York. Jackson Dart taking on Dax Prescott. And then this afternoon it was announced the Eagles and the Cowboys will be joining us all for Thanksgiving dinner.
That's a very traditional Thanksgiving rivalry. The Eagles and Giants hate each other, but the Eagles and Cowboys also hate each other.
Yeah.
That NFC East.
And growing up as a kid, it was the Cowboys and Redskins.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Now the Commanders. But I'll tell you what, Cowboys, Eagles, that's as big as a game gets on Thanksgiving. That's going to get like 60 million viewers.
Oh, yeah. It's a big one. So hey, do you remember when we were growing up, Monday Night Football on ABC was the biggest deal? Has Sunday Night Football on NBC taken that over? I think it has, right?
Yeah.
Is that the biggest game?
They get the biggest game.
Yeah.
And then Monday Night Football comes along, and sometimes it seems like they get lame games.
Well, no, they have 2 games now. And
sometimes doubleheaders. But I like Sunday night. Monday's busy because we're doing Wise Guys.
Right.
But the Sunday night game, if it's a big one, the family's all together, and it's just kind of wrap up the day.
It's good stuff.
Yeah. Still ahead tonight, women's basketball stars Delaney Gibb and Olivia Hamlin. They'll be on the show coming up here on a loaded Wise Guys. Wise Guys, by the way, is proudly supported by Quick Quack Car Wash. And one of the cool things they do is they stage a fundraiser for a person or family in need every time they open a new car wash. And they have new ones coming to South Ogden, Provo, Salt Lake City, Murray, and Sandy. If you have a suggestion for who they should do a fundraiser for, you can go to quickquack.com/preview fundraiser, submit the name and why, and it just might change their life. But it's an opportunity for you to get that to Quick Quack and make it happen.
Yeah, and I want to tell everybody about grand opening that just happened. That, again, this is something you and I volunteered to be part of.
Well, remember, the grand opening's coming. This was the traditional lay untying ceremony so that they could do it all.
Yeah, exactly.
And we have a picture, too.
I think DJ has a picture for us, but they just did a traditional lay untying ceremony for their first location in Hawaii, in Oahu. More details on that grand. There they are. Like, we volunteer for these things, like Hawaii. Anything in Hawaii, Dave and I want to be there, but we never get invited. So
there's Travis.
Yeah.
He's everywhere, wherever they open these. So he's over there in Hawaii with that ceremony.
Here's what we know about Quick Quack. It's two things. It's a company run by BYU grads, and they do that they do good things whenever they have a grand opening. And you know what they say? Don't drive dirty. That's
There's stores everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere.
And when you go by one and you see one and you see the duck on there, you're like, BYU guys run this company.
Yeah,
I'm going to get my car washed here.
Yep.
And that's what we encourage.
And you and I live by the motto: we don't drive dirty.
No, we don't. The car wash, we take it Quick Quack.
There you go.
Let's talk about basketball for just a moment. Lottery news is big for AJ Dybantsa. Sunday afternoon is when they did it. They rolled out what order everyone's going to be drafting in. The Wizards will pick first, but right behind them is the Utah Jazz. The Utah Jazz finally got some luck.
They got a break
to get up there to where they get an awesome player. Maybe they get AJ.
Well, the lowest they could have been this year is fourth. And I think we've all just come accustomed to whatever the lowest they can be, that's what they'll be.
Yeah.
So for them to have the number 2 pick is, I don't know, it just seems like that never happens to the Utah Jazz. And that means they're going to get, because to me, this is a deep draft, but the top 3 players are like big time franchise changing type players with Peterson and Boozer and AJ. And so does Washington need a wing like AJ, or do they need more of a guard like Peterson? I just hope they need a guard like Peterson.
Yeah, and they got
so
Boozer,
fun?
And then you got Wilson, the big kid from North Carolina.
Do they need a big rebounding guy like Boozer, a bigger body Boozer kind of a guy? What does Washington need? And that's what they're going to take. Yeah. But I do think most of the projections have AJ going with the number 1 pick now to the Washington Wizards, and that makes sense. They said that they'd be willing to trade down from the number 1 pick. Mm-hmm. That could allow the Jazz to move up the net. Like, what would it take to move down?
The Nets today said they're going to talk to him about doing some deals.
Well, could AJ and Yegor be together?
They could. If I'm the Jazz, if I'm Ryan Smith, I'm going to say, Washington, what do you need? Mm-hmm. I need AJ. I'm going to build around AJ. I'll give you the 2nd pick and just about anybody on my roster. Now, some longtime Jazz fans will go, that's insane. But look, the game changer in this draft is AJ.
And I did a bunch of games to start the season, and every opposing coach that we talked to, including Dan Mullen, who's coaching the NBA and the Olympic level, they all think that that he is just barely scratching the surface of what his capability is. Like his length, his skill, they think he's just scratching the surface as a shooter, his ability to cover ground and defend, all of that. Every one of them have told us, he can be a generational player in the NBA. And Mullen told us, was it Dan? No, it's not Dan Mullen. It's, I'm losing my mind. Dan Mullen's the quarterbacks coach from Utah that coached at Florida and all that. But
I think he's the UNLV head coach.
I'm talking about Eastern Washington's coach, who's coached at Gonzaga. Dan Monson.
Yeah.
So anyhow, he was just saying his upside, and I trust his opinion because he's coached at so many different levels and had such success, is like nobody that's come into the NBA in decades. Which, how do you not take that guy?
Just depends. The Wizards just traded for some guys. They've got plenty of talent.
You don't want to be a team that says, yeah, I took Sam Bowie and Michael Jordan was available in the draft, right? I know it.
But then they might say, maybe the other guy's the Michael Jordan of the draft. We just think it's AJ.
And remember, that draft also, you had Hakeem Olajuwon taken. That you can't really get on somebody for drafting Hakeem Olajuwon, right?
The Rockets won their share.
Yeah, they won championships, and he's one of the greatest players in the history of the game. So, but you took Sam Bowie, and you didn't take Hakeem or Michael?
I know.
Yeah, so you can't be that team.
So the draft combine's underway. The draft itself is June 23rd and 24th. So there's going to be some wheeling and dealing. We'll find out just how bad the Jazz want AJ.
Yeah. And
maybe it comes down to it where he's too expensive because the Wizards want such and such. Right. But all I'm saying is with the way the Jazz have been the last handful of years, give the fans something to build with, not to wait on.
Well, and I have to say this last year kind of worked out perfectly because they have a ton of young talent and there were a bunch of injuries. So they finished way lower than perhaps they would have.
A little tanking.
And yeah, well, I'm not going to say that, whether it happened or not. But
they got where they had to be.
The injuries allowed them to maybe justify that, right? And so there's a lot of good young talent on that Jazz team, and you add a new piece here. This is, I believe, next year's year the Jazz are back in the playoffs, and then they just go from there.
Yeah, and they could get back in the playoffs with any of these top three, top four.
Absolutely.
We'd like them to have AJ because it draws us all in like never before. So we'll see, but being number 2 is a good spot to be in for the Utah Jazz. Keba Keita, by the way, a shout out to Keba, who's tearing it up and turning heads at the G League Elite Camp. You see his name all over social media. It would be great for him to stay healthy and fight for a job, and he's off to a great experience there at the camp.
Yeah, good stuff. And he's so athletic. He's literally a freak with how high he can jump and how strong he is. So, Bruce Branch III. Some news about Bruce, who's a BYU player now. He was invited to the U.S. Under-18 National Training Camp later this month. That's a big honor in Colorado. He's got a great chance to make that team and represent the USA this summer.
You know, just like AJ did.
Yep.
You just get extra games with elite talent.
It is a great thing to develop the talent, and it'll help him as he comes back to play in the Big 12. And I mentioned last week, I met Bruce's mom, Constance, and everybody, we're going to give you a chance to meet her because I told her she needs to come on the show. She said she'd be glad to, but you're going to see that he comes from a great environment just like AJ, where we've had Ace on the show a bunch, and AJ's folks are just the best. Well, Constance also an awesome mom, and I think we're going to be thrilled with Bruce Branch, not just the way he is on the court, but the way he's going to carry himself off the court. What a great get for BYU.
I saw Bruce on social media dancing with Cosmo.
Yeah.
And he was it looked like he was having the time of his life.
Isn't it nice that there's top 5 players in the country that are such good fits for BYU?
Yeah.
Because Kevin Young has told Dave and I personally, face to face, hey, we want to go after the best talent out there, but we will not take somebody that's not a good fit. If the number 1 player in the world wants to come here, but we don't think he's a good fit, we're not going to recruit him. And how lucky have they been the last 2 years that you have a fit like AJ, and you have a fit like Bruce Branch to come here. It's great stuff.
Speaking of fit, and sometimes when, things don't fit like they used to, you just expand them.
Yeah, exactly.
Like our jeans. Well, starting next March, there's going to be 76 teams in the NCAA tournament instead of 68, which was once 64, and then less than that. There's going to be triple headers on Tuesday and Wednesday in Dayton, Ohio, and a second location, which is yet to be determined. So that's how they're going to deal with the 24 teams. Half of the 24 teams will be the lowest seeded auto bids. The other half will be the lowest seeded at large teams, and then they'll go at it. A field of 76 projects BYU as a 7 seed for next March with 11 Big 12 teams in the tournament, except no Utah. Yeah, almost everyone else is in, but Utah. But, and then you've got everybody, everybody who has an X account is is on there talking about how this is the worst thing ever and this is going to it's going to rock the world and this and that. And then there's a few where you're just like, bring it on. And that would include us. We're like, you know what? Are we going to watch those games? Yes, we are.
Yeah.
If there wasn't basketball on those nights, but the NIT was on, we'd be watching those. So why not just bring them in and give them a reason to play?
I agree with you 100%. And let me make a comment about this 7-seed thing. You watch how quickly BYU moves up in the preseason projections when they sign one of these centers that they're courting right now from Europe. They get a 6'11", 7'7", even a 7'2". They get a big center that's skilled, and pretty soon everybody's going to start going, well, maybe they're a 4 or a seed this year. That's all that's missing right now.
They're going to jump up there. Yeah. BYU and Utah State, since we were last together, agreed to a 2-game series, and some people weren't all excited about this. Cougars and Aggies will play at the Marriott Center on December 9th. I'd like to think we'll be on that game. Mm-hmm. And then they're going to meet the following year at the Delta Center, where each team gets 50% of the tickets. So it's 50-50, like a state championship game with the 2 best teams in the state. And that's how they're going to do it. They're not going up to the Spectrum.
Which I don't blame them. Would you do that?
No, if I didn't have to, I wouldn't.
And here's why. This is respect to the Aggies. They're too good at home, and it doesn't do BYU good enough. And the league is tough enough in the Big 12 as it is, so you don't need to go get a chance to lose in Logan, and they're very good in Logan.
Yeah. So I was explaining it to my kids, who are all Aggies, and they were like, "Oh, what? So they're playing twice. They're playing in Provo and Salt Lake, but they're not playing up here." I go, "Yeah, we're not going up there."
They're very smart.
There's no reason to do that. And then to my son, who's a little more sensitive about all that stuff, even though he grew up cheering for the Cougs and still does, but he's all Aggie now. And I go, Andrew, it's kind of like. We're going to play in Salt Lake, and we're going to give you half the tickets because that's what a nice big brother would do.
Oh man, did he get mad when you said it?
He understood. He understood what I was, but then he changed the subject. But we were just having fun.
In this case, we respect our younger brother though.
Yeah,
because they are very good.
They're gonna, and you know what? They're gonna beat BYU if BYU doesn't bring their A game.
That's right.
But exactly. I love the fact that it's in Salt Lake. I wouldn't mind both games in Salt Lake, but I love that it's in Salt Lake, and I love that it's 50-50. Because, man, there's going to be an energy in there.
Yeah.
And both teams would be pretty good.
Be fun stuff. I would think that one would come close to selling out up there.
It has to. So because if Aggie fans don't buy all their allotment, they know BYU fans will, and then they'll have the advantage there.
Hey, talk about buying seats. Attendance reports came out, and this is the NCAA attendance report. So in the Big 12, who would you think led the Big 12 in attendance? BYU.
Of course.
Number 1. Kansas 2, Arizona 3, Iowa State 4, and Texas Tech 5. The top 5 nationally, Kentucky's number 1. I'll give you the numbers. 19,731.
And they have a huge facility.
Right. North Carolina is 2 at 19,499. Tennessee is 3, 19,251. Arkansas is 4 at 18,796. And BYU comes in at number 5 nationally with 18,073. 18,073.
That's pretty good.
So interestingly, it's SEC, ACC, SEC, Big 12 BYU. Mm-hmm. Not a Big 10 team in there. It is interesting that
it's all their small arenas.
Yeah, the SEC fans. First of all, a lot of the SEC teams are in communities where it's just like that's it. There's not a pro. It is the pro sport in town, and they really, really do support it. So let's give them credit. But outside of that, one other conference, and it's North Carolina, who's a blue blood in the ACC, and then BYU. Pretty cool.
Yeah, good job, Cougar fans. Tonight, we're launching a new tradition on the Wise Guys. We're inviting you, the most loyal BYU fans, to be a guest on our show. And it's a pleasure to introduce longtime Cougar fan Ryan Robinson to the Wise Guys. And in fairness, we did say that the future of this segment does right on how this goes.
I don't know if you heard earlier, we said this. If Ryan flops, we may never do it again.
No pressure, but
so
welcome.
Everybody on the chat is rooting for you right now.
So give me the flop warning, maybe a little bit beforehand if you don't mind.
Welcome to the show. What do you think of our place?
Love it. It's a great setup.
It's good stuff. So where do you want AG to go?
Oh, I mean, that's clear. We want him in Salt Lake.
You want him in the Jazz?
Who would you give up? Who would you give up?
That's a good question. Maybe a couple draft picks. I don't know that I want to give anybody up off the team, but
Let's say you have to give up.
You have to give up. You have to trade him that number 2 pick, and you got to give up one player.
You've got to want AJ so bad you're willing to let go of who?
Cody Williams.
I don't think they go for that one.
I wouldn't go for
That's
that
why
one
I went
either.
with Cody. Sorry, I couldn't come up with anything better than that.
So are you saying, name me a starter you're willing to give up for AJ?
Let's go with. I'd go with Keontae.
Yeah,
Hey, you know what?
that'd be fair.
They might go for that.
Yeah.
Because they're getting the number 2 pick, whoever that is,
Right.
and Keontae.
So you're still getting Peterson, or you're getting Boozer, or you're getting you're getting a great player still, because this draft is deep.
I just don't know that I'm ready to give up on Ace. I think there's a lot of chatter out there right now that Ace go within that mix to give him up. I don't know that I want to do that.
Yeah.
What do
Well,
you guys think?
I'd give up whoever. I don't even care.
Dave's already decided he'll give up whatever player they want on the starting 5, and give them the 2 pick.
You got a generational guy
to
coming.
get AJ. I don't know that you have to.
We may not. We might be able to talk
Because
about Washington into taking Darren.
It might be.
Right.
It might be a couple of picks.
Yeah.
And then a really, really solid player, but it doesn't have to be. This Jazz team has got such good young talent. I hate to see him give up any of that, right? But,
Yeah.
Because you add another great young talent to it.
Yeah, I wouldn't shed a tear to give up anybody on that team.
He just wants AJ.
For AJ.
Which is understandable.
Let's go.
Understandable. So.
Well, what do you think of the expansion of the Big Dance all the way up to 76 teams?
Like you guys said, just as you were coming in, we'll watch. And we're all going to be excited about what's going to happen on that Tuesday, Wednesday, but I don't like it.
What do you mean you don't like it?
I don't like it.
Why don't you like
I
it?
just like the tradition. Could stick with
Just like-
68's the perfect number. You got the
Were you
playing
sad
games
when they
in
went from
Dayton.
64 to 68? Because it was always the field of 64. Then we went to 68. Did you not like that?
It still was the field of 64. You just had to do the play-in to get to 64. But I think, I don't know. I understand why they're doing it. It's going to drive eyeballs, gives everyone another chance to get out there and get it. But also, if you look at what happened with BYU even this last year, you got to play a play-in team, likely, if you're a 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Or whatever your seed is based on what they're doing.
And sometimes that's an
advantage, and sometimes they come in hotter than a firecracker like UCLA did, as well as Texas did to BYU this year.
Yeah, but when you don't rebound, it really helps.
Yeah,
No, it really helps. We'll see what happens, but it's going to be college basketball owns March, and I think they've just found another way to expand their reach. I mean, everything's expanding, right? Every league's expanding. Baseball's looking to expand. NBA's looking to expand. It's all. No one's contracting. No one's saying, hey, you know what? Let's have fewer. The only thing the PGA Tour is doing on major events is saying, let's do fewer golfers. Give me the top 68 instead of 150. And I don't even like that. It's just like it's sports.
And you know
Put it on.
the networks realize, and the networks realize that the only media that people consume live anymore is sports.
It's true.
Because everything else people just watch whenever they want to. And so if you really want to reach fans and they have to watch the ads that you're putting out there and all that, you want sports. So the networks want it. They're willing to pay for it. People are willing to watch it. They're going to watch it live. So it just keeps on growing.
Yeah.
So,
all right. What was it that drew you in as a young boy to becoming a BYU fan?
Oh man, that starts with being just a real little kid that went to a lot of BYU basketball games with his grandparents who had season tickets for 30 plus years. Also my pops would get up super early in the morning. He was a postman. The mailman always delivers. You know how that is. But on a Saturday when we had tickets, he'd get up at 4 a.m. so he could be.
he would do his route at 4 in the morning.
He would start to go get the mail all sorted, get there by 5:30, and then be done by close to noon, just to give us enough time to get down to the stadium when we'd get tickets. We didn't have season tickets when I was growing up, but we got to as many games as we could and a lot of basketball games.
And you grew up in Provo, right?
So I grew up in Orem and Pleasant Grove.
Orem PG.
And graduated from Pleasant Grove, but moved to Pleasant Grove my sophomore year and grew up in Orem. I was not far from Orem Junior High School. But my parents still reside in Pleasant Grove, and my grandparents were in Springville. My aunt that had season tickets with my grandparents, she bought one extra so that she could bring someone along with in most cases.
That's awesome.
And it was just, it's ingrained in me. I've had it ever since I was out of the womb.
So you were 8 years old when Blaine, just think about that for a minute. You were 8 years old when Blaine.
Dave always does something to let everybody know that I'm an old man.
And his team beat Michigan in the Holiday Bowl to win the national championship. That wasn't that long ago. It was a little while ago, but it wasn't long ago.
It was so long ago.
But this isn't to date you further, but you ended up watching the game on a black and white television.
Yeah, I remember.
Like the biggest game ever.
Biggest game.
Ms. Lou has it in color, and you're watching it in black and white. What happened?
We're downstairs in the basement. It's probably whatever, a 20-inch, 24-inch Zenith TV, and the color TV goes out. No. And I'm looking at my pops. I'm like, what are we doing? Let's go. Come on, we got to get this thing back. And he's trying everything he can think of. So we run upstairs to the kitchen where the 13-inch black and white TV is and finished watching the ball game on a black and white.
You watched Kelly Smith make that great catch?
Watched Kelly, watched Kaz get that 1 foot down in the back of the end zone.
So, and you watched Blaine come in.
Watched Blaine come in and save us. Well, they got Robbie taped up enough and structured enough, I guess, to get him back in there.
We're not sure what they were doing on him, but I do know this, that 1 foot jump, and like I think Glenn was up as high as the crossbar to take that ball down, and it looked like he was beyond the end line, and somehow, like a plastic man, he got a foot down, and he comes over to the sideline, and he says to me, I think Robbie was throwing that away. Like he didn't even think to throw it to me. I just caught it. Robbie was throwing it away, and I go, I think so too. And then Robbie comes over, and we were just throwing that away, and Kaz caught it. He goes, no, I wasn't throwing it away. I put it in the only place where I knew Kaz could get it, but nobody else could get it.
That's right.
He was pulling his best Joe Montana to White
To this
Clark,
day,
right?
Glenn and are like, no, he was throwing it away, and Kaz just caught it.
Listen, he's a mission president now, so now he has to
tell the truth.
He has to tell the truth on that. But I think he's sticking to that. What a catch. What a catch that was. BYU superfan Ryan Robinson of Pleasant Grove, Utah is on the Wise Guys, presented by Brady Plus and Mountain America Credit Union. What other sports moment is among your favorites?
Wow. I would say that one of my favorite ones that I had, because I had a kind of a personal connection, Blaine knows this, but I hosted down at BYU football practice for many years, and so got to know a guy by the name of Andrew George.
Yeah.
And I asked Andrew before, because I had my whole family there. I said, look, hey, after the Utah game, are you all right if I come down and we grab a quick picture with you afterwards? And he says, absolutely. We'll look forward to having you down there. And then he goes and makes the game-winning touchdown catch in overtime. And at that point, I thought there's just no way we're not going to have an opportunity. And I understood it because the media was around him. Everyone was surrounded him. But we kind of hung around hoping for an opportunity. And I think Duff, or one of the media relations guys, came and says, hey, I got to have you come in. It's time to do your stuff on the media side, on the inside. And he says, hang on a minute. I got to get a picture right here with my family. And that just meant it was cool. It was a really cool moment for us because we followed Andrew a lot and enjoyed that. So to have him make that game-winning touchdown, that one was really sentimental.
He made Max Hall all that more infamous.
Yeah.
Very much so. Catching that ball.
What a great catch. Andrew's.
That's a great story.
What people would be interested in, I think, is that you've gotten close to a lot of these players, and you mentioned it briefly, but let's talk about that a little bit. When Bronco was the coach here, you became part of or asked to come help out with security and be there and really get to interact with these players on a personal level way more than the typical super fan gets to interact with people. Tell us about how that came about and what that experience was like for you.
Yeah, so I had the opportunity to meet up with a gentleman by the name of Dennis Barnett, who's a real estate agent for a really long time. And he just had mentioned, we went to lunch. I'm a mortgage guy, and so we went to do some lunch. And he says, hey, have any interest in maybe helping out with some security? I can get you set up with one of the gentlemen down there. And I said, yeah, that'd be amazing. And so I got started, and I ended up showing up to a bowl practice where it was just your dad.
Oh yeah.
And I actually, I was the only one there, and he popped over just as he was finishing up as his athletic host situation in the student athlete building. And he says, hey, you seem like you're pretty available to come and be a part of this. And I said, yeah. I said, just give me, 24 hours notice. Doing mortgages and stuff, I have a little more flexibility. So just give me a little heads up. I'll make my way down to the field. And that's where it started. And after a while, George Golightly, Marty McCoy, Kirk Fowler had an opportunity to be head security or captain, whatever you wanted to call it. And I had a specific day that I was there, and then George left, and he says, you're in charge. And I kind of shook my head as I'm like, hey, why am I in charge? Because you're the only one that knows how to do anything electronically and put a calendar together. So I ended up doing that and had the opportunity to coordinate the hosts for many years. And then that finished in 2023. Yeah. But it was an incredible run. Met a lot of not only incredible players, but the hosts, getting a chance to hang out with the hosts and being a part of all of the great security folks that hosted in many different levels and forms across campus. But it was a lot of fun to be a part of.
That's where you got to know Kirk and Barbara as BYU ambassadors, that group that's there to welcome the opposing team into the stadium. And they always say, everyone's so nice here. But it started with you guys as the teams came in.
Yeah, and I had the opportunity. I did that about 2 years as well with my pops outside. And then as my kids got older, it was a little bit harder to be there 3 hours before. So we ended up doing that a lot less, but held on to the security side of things. And Dwayne Busby actually told me after George left, like, look, can we drop the security tag here now? And let's just call you guys ambassadors or hosts of the program. And so it was a lot of fun. We got to see a lot of the backside of Bronco. I got to know Bronco on a different level than most. And it was really, when he left, it was hard. It was really hard to see him go, but obviously great to see Kalani come in and see what Kalani's built and really open the doors back up and knows all the former BYU athletes and stars that come through.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's interesting your view of the players is so different because everybody gets to see them on the field and they have their helmets on and they're down there and they're out there playing and they root for them and they see them on an interview here or there, but you see them just in casual settings when they're coming out and just messing around with one another, and you just become part of what's going on there. And Dave and I get to be close to it. Obviously, I've been really close to it, but people, I don't know that they understand what good kids come to play at BYU, but you know that well. Just describe what the culture is like down there because you've been a big part of it.
Yeah, they're brothers. I mean, it's that you talk about, go back to Bronco, the band of brothers, and you're a family. And to watch, I think one of the things that when I first got started doing it is you wanted to be kind of the insider and you wanted to know kind of what was going on. But man, then there came a lot of heartbreak too. I remember being at one of the practices and the name slips me, and it might come to me as I'm chatting about it, but he's running down the sideline. He had just worked his way back, and then he tore his ACL right there in practice. And you could hear him.
Yeah.
And two, the tears. And everyone involved that was with that part of it, you could just feel the heartache that comes. But to watch these guys, that I think that's the biggest thing that people don't realize is as heartbroken as we are as fans, they're even more so. I mean, they're the ones putting in the work 4 or 5 days a week, putting all the film study sessions in and all of that. And so as sad as I think my perspective as a fan changed substantially because, I remember at 14 years old when Ty goes up to Oregon after we'd beat Miami, and I'm bawling my eyes out because I'm sad because we were on a trail to maybe be undefeated,
That's right.
And now I look at it and go, man, those guys are just as heartbroken, and I'm just grateful that they're willing to entertain us and give us something to cheer for.
Great perspective. Great perspective. I think we're ready for 5 questions. This is our debut of the BYU Superfan. Ryan Robinson's with us. 5 questions is presented by Strategy Square. Let Chantel help your business grow through social media. You can find out how and reach her at strategysquare.co. These are rapid fire. You ready? You're no stranger to this show. You know what's coming.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Favorite sports movie? You already know this. You knew I was going to ask you this.
Can I two?
Yeah, you can take 2.
Rudy and The Rookie, the Disney The Rookie.
That was a good one.
I like The Rookie.
Yeah,
That's a good one. Rudy.
Both true stories. Makes them great.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, your favorite singer or band?
Oh man, I'm a country music guy, so I love Alabama. Alabama is one of my favorite groups.
All right, no shame in that.
Yep.
No shame in that.
That's a good one. That's a good old school too. So, your favorite breakfast cereal?
Captain Crunch.
Wait, don't tell me you only like the Captain Crunch like this guy. You have to like the Crunch Berries or something.
I do like the Crunch Berries too.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Captain Crunch Berries.
I said Captain Crunch with Crunch Berries. He's like, no, straight Captain Crunch.
I don't need the
I'm like,
sideshow.
that's just a recipe
I'll
to be
take the
bored and
sideshow.
cut your mouth.
I'll take the sideshow, but I definitely love just a
plain old Captain
plain
Crunch.
Just has the
Captain
Captain
Crunch.
Minute.
Oh,
Yep.
you two need to hang out
Yep.
because they're just in from the same cloth. Your favorite ice cream, like the place and the flavor.
Man, it's hard to not like Graham Canyon from
Everyone seems to love that.
That's
Graham Canyon or cookies and cream.
I think that Graham Canyon from the BYU Creamery is overwhelmingly the number one choice. Don't you think, Dave?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's what everyone goes for.
and Lavelle's was there's an ice cream named after him because he just liked plain old vanilla.
Yeah, each coach gets it.
Why is that not surprising that Lavelle just liked vanilla?
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah,
A little caramel on that.
So, your favorite game on the football schedule this next fall?
Utah.
That's an easy one.
It's Utah.
That was too
Always.
easy.
It was a lot faster. You know, Notre Dame's on the schedule.
Listen,
Notre Dame.
I'll be
I thought
more
you'd
than
at least
happy.
struggle.
No, I'll be more than happy to go to the Notre Dame game, and I've been to Notre Dame. That was a lot of fun to go out and watch them play out there. Riley Jensen,
Yeah.
Cody Hoffman, those guys. I thought we had them out there.
That's where we met Rudy for the first time.
But Utah, it's always Utah.
Yeah.
That's a good answer. All right, you brought your wife here. Tell us about your wife.
My sweet bride, she's way cooler than me. Her name is Wendy, and she is a chainsaw carver.
What?
I
She
swear.
is cooler than
She
you.
is way cooler than me. She chainsaw carves bears, eagles, whatever you want to have her chainsaw off a piece of wood. So we might need to.
If you
we might
chainsaw
need
the
to add
Wise Guys
something.
logo, we'll put it in here somewhere.
She will put that together for
I've
you.
met Wendy before, but I did not know that she had this chainsaw carving skill.
She's been
doing that.
one went by me. I don't know how I didn't know this.
Been doing that since about the pandemic, and then she also whittles.
Wow.
So it's pretty fun to see what she's able to whittle. In fact, she whittled me a tiki. It's like a jazz tiki.
Yeah.
Had a bunch of the numbers on it with John and Carl and Rudy. I know this is at the.
If Wendy does a chainsaw or a carving of anything cool BYU, we will absolutely add it to the set. So
I'd take that jazz tiki and include it with a player and send
Yeah,
both
we could
those
put a
things
number 3 on
to
that
get
hopefully as
AJ
well, right?
Dybantsa
Yeah, man.
Absolutely.
from all that. Thank you so much for being here.
Guys,
So good to
thanks
have
for the
you. Good to
opportunity.
see you,
Welcome to
brother.
the show.
Appreciate it.
That's Ryan Robinson, BYU superfan. And if you think your fandom warrants an appearance on Wise Guys, we'd love to have you on the show. Just go to the link at wiseguys.com, fill out your contact information, and then tell us what makes you a BYU superfan. No matter where you live in the world, we'd love to bring you on this show and share your story. So go to wiseguys.com, click on that, fill out the information, and let's get you on the show. Whether you're in Singapore, Colombia,
I want one of our
St. Louis.
I want one of our Singapore or Japan or Colombia. I want one of the ones in the Far East to come on via video, because it's like 10 o'clock in the morning and they're sneaking watching the show from work.
Yeah, that would put some things at risk.
I want to see somebody take a little bit of risk to come on the show. So.
Still ahead on tonight's show, basketball stars Delaney Gibb and Olivia Hamlin. We're excited to have them with us. Campus Notes are presented by BYU Pathway Worldwide. BYU Pathway makes truly affordable, fully online, spiritually based college degrees accessible to folks worldwide through greatly reduced tuition, weekly peer gatherings, and English support, helping students earn sooner, increase their income, and deepen their faith. Learn more at byupathway.edu. This is a huge week for track and field.
Yeah, let's start with them national rankings. Women are number 3 in the country. Not a surprise. They've been 2, 3 all year long. Men are at 26 right now. Up next is the Big 12 Outdoor Championships. That's Thursday through Saturday in Tucson, Arizona.
This is it, right? Jane's going to be in that. All the big guns will
Yep.
be there.
Oh,
And I'm
yeah.
curious to see what's going to happen. The Big 12 is a really good track and field league and cross country and all that stuff. But this is it. And then the NCAAs after that. So we'll keep an eye on things starting Thursday in Tucson. Baseball is 25-25. They're 13-14 in the Big 12 with a 12-3 win last week at Texas Tech. The Cougars clinched a spot in next week's Big 12 tournament in Surprise, Arizona. Here's a look at the Big 12 standings. The top 6 get double byes. 7 and 8 get a first-round bye. So you really want to be in the top 8. You want to be in. BYU was the last team in last year.
Yeah.
Kansas is going to be here this weekend. They're in first place at 20-7. West Virginia is right behind them at 19-8. That tells you 2 things. Kansas has a reason to play hard at BYU this weekend because West Virginia just beat them 3 straight in Lawrence last weekend, so they got that going on.
That's right.
Arizona State and UCF are 17-10, tied for 3rd. Oak State and TCU are in 5th at 16-11. Then Cincinnati is in 7th at 15-12. BYU is 8 at 13-14, and behind them is Baylor at 12-15, and 10 is Utah at 11-16. Then Kansas State, Texas Tech, and a couple others. It's a lot of names and numbers, but what it means is it's the final week, and it's go time. And now you got a chance to stay at 7 or 8 and get that bye in the first round. And they played good enough to get it.
Yeah.
You just got to hang on to it.
Yep. And an interesting note that you made me aware of is that the Oklahoma State and Cincinnati broke into the top 25 this week. The Cowboys are number 21. The Bearcats are 25. 2 of the BYU's 4 Big 12 wins are against Oklahoma State and Cincinnati.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
That is.
Yeah.
It's like,
They
okay.
beat teams that good.
That's got to be helpful. Later tonight, I'm going to have a story out on Ezra McNaughton. His dad hit home runs here. His uncle hit home runs here. And now it's Ezra's turn to hit home runs here. And he's doing that, leads the team in home runs. Look for it at Deseret.com around 9 o'clock Mountain Time later tonight. Utah Valley's at BYU tomorrow, 6 o'clock Mountain Time. And then 14th ranked Kansas and BYU Thursday and Friday at 6, Saturday at 1. Jayhawks coming off a 3-game sweep by West Virginia. So it'll be interesting at the ballpark. All those games are on ESPN Plus. Gary Scheide and I will be on the call. So it's one last blast for baseball at Miller Park with 4 games this week.
There you go. Ashton Johnson was named to the Tony Gwynn Community Service Starting 9, which honors student athletes for their performance on the field, in the classroom, and their service in the community. Of those 9, 1 will be selected for the 2026 Gwynn Trophy, which is a big deal. Tony Gwynn was like an amazing human being, great honor. And Ashton Johnson, congrats on that.
Men's golf, the Cougars are ranked 24th. Kihei Akina is number 6. Today, named Big 12 Freshman of the Year. Also been selected to represent the United States at the Arnold Palmer Cup, June 29th through July 5th over in Ireland. You know, just across the pond. That's big, but they've got something big to do here right away.
That's right. Up next, BYU's 4th seed in the Athens Regional, starting next Monday in Georgia. The regionals go Monday through Wednesday. The top 5 teams in the 13-team regional and low individuals not on those teams will advance. NCAA championships will be May 22nd through the 27th.
Women's golf, MJ Berrigan at the NCAA Regionals in Louisville, Kentucky today through Wednesday. Her opening round, 300 par, tied for 6th place. I watched on their Instagram account, they had every shot that she took during the day. And you could just see her go through a round. She had some birdies that just kind of lipped out, but then she hit some big ones. So she had a good first round at 300 par, tied for 6th place. And then tomorrow and Wednesday, and finish high enough, then you get to go compete for the national championship.
Yeah, -3 is big time.
Yeah.
Men's volleyball. Connor Oldani and AJ Cottle named AVCA honorable mention All-Americans. Oldani is a sophomore from Phoenix. Cottle's a freshman from Provo. And congratulations. BYU was very young this last year in men's volleyball, and they got a lot to work on. That's not off, huh?
That's a live mic. So thanks, Brenda.
It's okay.
Would you grab Liv? I think she's out that way.
So
Brenda's helping us tonight.
Yeah.
Lacrosse, BYU beat Virginia Tech 16-13 to win the D1 MCLA National Championship, their 2nd title in 3 years and 6th overall. So we congratulate Cougar Lacrosse.
Yeah, women's basketball. The Cougars added 6'1" Australian, I hope I'm saying this right, Praseas Natoa.
That feels right.
Did I do it right?
That feels right.
Delaney's saying I did it right, so it felt good to me, and I've got the thumbs up. She chose the Cougars over defending national champs UCLA and TCU. She will bring physical play and shooting to the team, which is going to be great. So they didn't get the 6'5" person we were thinking, but you know what? Lee was telling us when he was on the show, was Lee on last week?
Last week.
That, if they're not going to just get any big, but the idea is if they can't get a 6'4", 6'5", they're going to play small. And they're going to make teams match up with them because they have an unbelievably skilled team with good length everywhere else. So that's the plan.
And one thing he also said is that everyone's looking for a big, right? And they're not all great.
Right.
And they're expensive, and BYU's a unique place anyway. So you got to want to come here anyway. And but what he's got firepower at forward and tremendous guards and a chance to move the ball up and down the floor and offset some of that. BYU's got a couple of fan fests coming up we want to tell you about. Saturday in Huntington Beach, Central Park West, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. coverage on BYU TV. And then Kalani will give a fireside in Anaheim on Sunday afternoon. So folks in California, Sunday afternoon, 2 o'clock at 440 North Laura Street in Anaheim for Kalani and a couple of players. It'll be packed with kids and fans and all that stuff. That's Sunday afternoon. And then Wednesday, May 20th, they're here in Utah and Davis County from 6 to 8. We'll have all the details for that next week.
I take offense that Huntington Beach has a place called Central Park West. That's a New York thing. Like a New York guy cannot allow another place to have a
in
Central
California,
Park
they don't care what New York's doing.
No, they don't care. So,
They just have their own thing going.
we just gave you a bunch of news, and the campus notes are presented by BYU Pathway Worldwide. Learn how to increase your education in a way that can benefit your life at byupathway.edu.
All right, what you're about to see is a line change similar to what you see in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
We went up to the Mammoth game, and I was amazed at how many line changes they do in a game. So Brenda's going to come over and help.
We'll do it. You'll move over here, and as they assemble, our next guests are two big pieces of the BYU women's basketball program. First team All Big 12 guard Delaney Gibb and Olivia Hamlin named to the All Big 12 freshman team. And as we've got to know them, they're quite the tandem, and our pleasure to welcome both here into the Wise Guys, fresh out of class. So, Liv, come on over. Delaney's settling in.
Maybe I shouldn't take off my shoes.
You're fine.
Are you guys teasing me that I don't have shoes on?
I saw the
It's a local custom. Don't worry about it.
But here's the thing. See, people can see that on the shot they have right now. So, little known fact. Jack, how many shows have we done now? We've done 200 and...
Something like that.
Over about 200.
Years,
Yeah, a little over 200 shows. I have never worn shoes on any show we've ever done here.
Really?
Because it's like everybody always makes me dress a certain way for every show, but this is our show, so I dress how I want. So I wear shorts and no shoes every week.
That's great.
Hey, we had an apostle on the show. I wore no shoes.
What?
Yeah, I didn't wear shoes when...
We didn't show it, though.
You wear that T-shirt too?
We're pretty sure he has shoes on.
Lots of times.
We're pretty sure he has shoes on. All right, we are here. We've been waiting for this, and we're glad to have it. Thank you for getting out of class and busting over here. Let's start with some serious questions. You ready? This is for Delaney. If Olivia was interviewing for a job and they called you as a reference, what would you say about your teammate?
Oh God.
You're going to get this too, so think about it.
She's my roommate. I've spent so much time with her, you guys. It's exhausting. It's crazy. Too much time.
Okay, so outside of exhausting, what would you say?
Oh no, Livy is the best. She is all of the energy of our team. Like, I've never seen her without a smile on her face. She is constantly bringing energy and just joy and happiness wherever she goes. And it's super refreshing because there's not very many people, like that. She's someone that is always seeing the positive, and she's someone who works really hard at everything that she does. And she really holds herself to high standards, and no matter what it is, she's trying to do her best at it.
Who wouldn't hire her on that?
I'm hiring her on that. So, Livy, you got to do the same.
Okay.
For Delaney, what would you say about Delaney after that?
Oh gosh, how do I compare them? Well, Delaney, I think she's just personally like one of the best leaders out there, not just for basketball, but just for anything, any person. I'm serious. Like, Delaney's just such a good person to learn from, just because she holds herself at a high standard, and it's like on the basketball court, she's just playing at such a high level that it's like you try to put yourself at the high level too to play with Delaney, because Delaney's just a great person to be around.
Don't you want that as a freshman to have a teammate like that?
Exactly. And I'm thankful that I'm even rooming with this girl.
So how did that come about? How did you guys decide that you're going to live together and spend your lives together? You knew you were going to be on the team together, but did you decide on your own? Take us through that story.
Well, I'm living in a house right now, and we had an open room, and so we were looking for roommates. And Livy came on her visit, and everyone else already had housing situations, so she was kind of the last resort.
Wow.
So really magic brought this together.
I'm just kidding. No, even on her visit, her energy was just like, you could see it, and so I knew that she would be, a pleasure to roommate with, and she would be someone who's just bringing a great vibe.
Okay, so Delaney, Liv averaged 12.9 points, had 3 games, scored over 23, including the tournament win over Kansas. What was her best night on the floor this year?
She had 20 and a half. Didn't she?
No.
19. Okay, 19. 19 and one half.
Wait, which game was that?
Iowa State, I think.
Yeah.
Iowa State?
Yeah.
Okay.
Iowa State, she had 19 and a half, and it was quite literally give Livy the ball, she can't miss. And it was so cool to see. And I feel like that was kind of the turning point, and it just felt like all the pieces clicked in her head, and it was like, wow, this, like, guys, this is so fun. And it was awesome to watch. It was so fun. But I mean, she was great. Every single game, you could count on Livy to do, you know, the same things, and she was going to be a great defender. She was going to, you know, bug people all night long, and she was going to get out and fast break and sprint the floor and just do, you know, things that aren't even really shown. She's going to sprint the floor every single possession, and that's something that kind of goes overlooked, but for our team was really important.
Libby, I can think of multiple games in my head where Delaney just went off, right? So,
yes.
so is there a best game in your mind that she had this last year? What is it?
I know this exact moment is the Utah game at Utah.
Yeah.
That game, all I remember is literally just running down the court, and I'm just like, Delaney better shoot this ball. Delaney better shoot this ball. She could not miss. Genuinely, you could not miss. And I thought it was the funnest game ever because, like, watching Delaney succeed and just, it was just so fun. Like, it was genuinely, like, one of the funnest games.
37 points.
Yes.
That was great.
Yes,
You
it was
don't
awesome.
do you not like the Utes? Do you love the Utes? do you not like them but love to play them? Because every time you play Utah, Delaney, something magic happens. What's up with that?
I really don't know. I mean, I really like their gym. I don't know why. Well, and the game that we played Utah before wasn't my greatest. It was a great overall game, but not my greatest offensive performance.
Right.
So I think I kind of had that in the back of my mind leading into the away game. And then it helps when you had a career high the first time you played in that gym because there's just another level of confidence.
Well, you get a few more shots up in that gym, too. We're going to hardly wait to see what's going to happen next year. The team finishes on a 9-2 run, last 11 games. Get to the championship of the WBIT. You increase your win total from 12 to 26 with Lee Kamar in his first year as head coach. What identity did you establish for next year?
Yeah, I mean, it's super exciting. All of the girls are so bought in and just excited for the upcoming season because we did so well in the WBIT, but at the same time, it was super motivating and even frustrating because that's not the tournament that we wanted to be in.
Right.
So I think our identity, we're a team that just, I think that we play fun. We play fast. We're very high, fast paced. We're really defensively minded. Like we're getting after it on the defensive end, and that's leading to a lot of our offensive possessions, which is great basketball to watch. Mm-hmm. And then obviously, Coach Lee loves shooting the three.
Yeah.
And so we shoot a lot of threes.
Have you noticed the crowds are getting bigger? The vibe is getting bigger?
Yeah, no, it was super cool to see. Even just comparing freshman year to the end of this season, it was so fun. The crowds, not only were so many people showing up, but like they were getting hype, and it was just fun.
It makes us play better.
Yeah, it does. It does.
How did the home environment? Let's talk about the home environment at the end of the year because it was clearly better at the end of the year than the beginning of the year. People got the vision, right? Mm-hmm. How does that compare to the places you played in the Big 12 throughout the season?
You can go. I mean, the Big 12 has great home crowds. Yeah. And so we went, I remember from my freshman year going to Iowa State, great crowd. Arizona gets a great crowd. Arizona State had a great crowd. So there's so many teams in this conference that have people going to their games, and the vibe and the energy is just so fun. And I think that our program and the fans building around our program started to see that towards the end, and it's super fun, and I hope that we can just keep building on that.
So Olivia, follow up to that, which is more fun, getting the home crowd to go crazy or completely silencing a big away crowd?
Ooh, wow, I'm gonna have to really think about this one. I really like the home crowd. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like getting our home crowd hyped is probably one of the best feelings ever. Like, especially when it's a close game and like you just did like something good, like, and the whole crowd is hype. It just like, it's seriously one of the best feelings ever. But they're both really good. I'd probably say home crowd.
Okay.
We're thrilled to have BYU basketball stars Delaney Gibb and Olivia Hamlin on the Wise Guys, presented by Brady Plus and Mountain America Credit Union. The NCAA tournament's expanding to 76 teams next year. That should all be like officially official here at their next meeting. But that's where they're going, with BYU being the first bubble team left out last year. How do you feel about the expansion?
It's great news for us. I mean,
maybe a year late, but
yeah, maybe a year late, exactly. But no, it's exciting. I mean, it just gives, more teams an opportunity to be in the tournament, which is ultimately every team's goal. So it's cool, and it's exciting going into next season. Obviously, even if there wasn't the expansion, we still have the same goal and we still think that we're going to reach that. So,
And yeah, I think everybody's focus is like, after the WBIT tournament, I think everybody's focus is just, you know, making it to the tournament. And so you can just see like a switch in everybody's brains, like we're focusing on this one thing. And I think it's really cool to see.
yeah.
So during a press conference for the WBIT, great run, getting national press, it was right before the semis, some members of the team were asked about not playing or practicing on Sundays. And it was Delaney whose response was, you talked about your relationship with Jesus Christ was more important to you than basketball. And then that went viral. Like millions of people saw it. And then Fox decided it was a big enough deal that they needed to have you on their show, Big Fox. So what does that tell you about the platform of the two of you that you have at BYU, and how important is it to you to represent the institution and the Savior?
Yeah, it's super cool. I mean, I was actually kind of upset going into that interview. I've told a couple of people this.
And the guy who made you upset is sitting right over in our green room, right, Austin?
I was not aware that we had to come straight off the plane and go to an interview. So my hair was a mess. I had my glasses on, and that's the interview that goes viral. But it's you know, it was meant to be.
Yeah.
I can't help it. You know, it's not up to me. But it's super cool. I mean, we do have a platform, and we're at a university that represents so much more than just the athletic programs that we're a part of. And so it's awesome. I mean, I would take any opportunity to, you know, just, you know, speak what I believe. And I'm just happy that, you know, a lot of people resonated with the message that I put out there.
Well, it's important to note too, right? Because when you do say things, people listen.
Yes.
Not just the fans at the Marriott Center and that are listening to this show, but people who don't even know where BYU is.
Yeah.
So what kind of responsibility do you feel, Liv?
I mean, I think it's just cool to even like, I mean, this is one reason why I came to BYU is show my belief to other people, maybe that aren't from Utah, BYU or whatever. But I'm just really thankful to be here and just show my faith through being, or by playing behind a BYU jersey. So.
Let's talk about the jersey for a second. So few people ever put that jersey on that are on the planet or that will ever live here, but you guys do. What is it? There's something special about having BYU across your chest. What is it?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you represent something bigger than yourself and greater than yourself, which is really cool. The university represents the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and so we are representing our Savior Jesus Christ when we put on the jersey, and that's super cool. And that's nobody else does that unless, you know, you're at BYU, and which is awesome. But I also just think that being at BYU right now, there's a lot of people that are curious, and you know, we've had a lot of big, great players come through BYU, a couple big basketball stars, and a lot of people are curious about the university and the university's mission. And so it's super cool to be able to represent that and to be able to, you know, speak about it, and people are listening and people are curious to know.
You know, Delaney, you came on this show
I
the
did.
day you committed to BYU.
I did.
But you weren't in studio because you
It was
were
the
up
biggest night in the history of our show.
It was. But you were up in your dad's office up in Alberta.
Yep.
You had a bunch of friends celebrating in the other room. So now here we are. How many years later? Is this 2 years later?
Yeah.
And how have you come to know that this was the right decision for you, that you made that night when you announced it here?
Yeah, honestly, you know, the moment I stepped on campus and started practicing and just started building a relationship with the girls, it was pretty clear that I loved it here. And honestly, through looking back at my 2 years, all of the pieces have just kind of clicked together, and I'm so grateful that I decided to come here. I'm so grateful for Coach Kamard. I've known him for so long, and so being able to play with him, you know, as my head coach, he just has so much knowledge of the game, and he's someone who has seen me since I was in 6th grade. So he has believed in me for the longest time, and he's someone that knows exactly what my potential is and how I can reach that. And so it's so cool to be at a university that not only do I have, such a great relationship with my head coach and all the coaching staff for that matter, but also my team is the best. Like, I love these girls so much, and it's so much easier to play basketball and to grind it out, and, the long hours and the early mornings and the late nights when you're with a group of people that you really love.
Now, Liv, we would have loved for you to announce your intentions here on the show, but you were going to Nebraska. And we're not, this is not a Cornhusker show. So when did you come to know that redirecting your collegiate career to BYU was the right thing for you?
Well, I was obviously going this way, but I knew at that time that was the right choice for me. And then just things started to happen, and I could kind of feel like maybe I was supposed to be here in Utah, and I just kept, praying and just kind of like trying to figure out like if this was the right move. And every time I would think of it, just like something would tell me that this is where I was supposed to be. And so then I was just like, hey, let's make this happen. So then I just made it happen. And
you made your first basket, and then you thought, okay, yeah, this is going to happen.
And then I was like, whoa, okay. Yeah.
And now here you are, not a whole year later, but almost a year later from when you decided. Mm-hmm. And what has surprised you about being here for this year? Has anything surprised you, or is it exactly what you thought it would be?
I honestly think it was exactly what I thought it would be. Just like, I knew that coming here, when I came on my visit here, I knew that I would get along with these girls and with the coaches as well. And I think that's a major big part. And I remember coming home from my visit, and I just like was so beyond like grateful and happy because I knew that I was making the right decision. And I couldn't hold back tears because I just knew that this is where I was supposed to be. And I just couldn't even be more thankful. So, yeah.
BYU basketball stars Delaney Gibb, Olivia Hamlin on the Wise Guys. We're live around the world on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and wiseguys.com. One last question, and then we'll get you out of here with our 5-question finale. What's the summer plans? Are you doing anything for Team Canada? What are the two of you doing this summer?
Yeah, I have a couple Team Canada camps, and then there's a qualification tournament. It's to be determined where, but excited. I'll be leaving in the end of June to go to camp with Canada, and so excited. I mean, it's always an honor to represent Canada. That's where I was born and raised. It means the world to me, and so hopefully that's the next step in my journey, and just moving forward. Super excited to get back in the gym with these girls and just progress and get better.
The Olympic team, though, is still the goal, right?
Oh, yeah. That's my number one goal.
Awesome. What about you, Liv? What are you doing?
Man, I'm just going to finish up spring training, do a couple camps. But I think I'm just going to stay around this summer and just work out with the new freshmen and just kind of help them, kind of through summer term, I guess,
Sure.
if that makes sense. So I'm just going to try to build a relationship with them and just stay here this summer. So, yeah.
Are you guys going to go down to Santa Clara for Memorial Day like the rest of the gang?
Oh, sure, I'll be there.
You're not going to be down there?
I don't know what I have planned there.
When Brenda and I were just down there, you were down there. We go back for Memorial Day. We always go down.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think I'll be in Hawaii.
You're going to be in Hawaii?
Yes.
It's a good place to be.
I know, so sorry. Maybe next year.
That's a good place to be.
5 questions now for Delaney and Olivia, presented by Strategy Square. You can learn more at strategysquare.co. Chantel, a BYU Pathway grad, runs Strategy Square, and she can help your business grow through social media. All right, 5 quick ones. These are rapid fire.
So we're going to start with Delaney, and then you'll answer the same question, and then you'll go first on the next question.
Sure.
So we won't get any extra thinking time.
Okay.
Favorite sports movie?
Ooh. Glory Road.
Glory Road. Okay, that's a good one. Basketball movie.
Oh,
Libby?
Can I say show?
Yeah.
Okay, The Last Dance.
Last Dance.
Yes,
Okay, yeah,
so
that's
good. Michael
that's
Jordan.
The all
that's a-
6, the whole
Yes.
6
the
part
whole
series.
series.
The
That
whole
counts.
series.
That counts. It's
Okay.
very good. So okay, now we're start with Livy. Favorite singer or band?
Ooh. Favorite singer? Ooh. Or band? I like Drake.
Drake. Okay, that's good. I like Drake.
I like Drake.
Okay, love the Drake.
Delaney?
Livy's lying. It's SZA.
I know. I
Who's
actually really
SZA?
like SZA.
She's a.
Listen, this is an honesty-based show.
Can you guys write down SZA for me? Wait, Brenda already knows who SZA is.
Thank you, Delaney, for bringing that forward.
Okay, Delaney, who's yours? Is it SZA?
No, but she's good.
Okay.
I don't know. I listen to everything.
Yeah, we like everything.
But yeah, I like SZA too. Me and we, you know.
Okay, I'm gonna.
Is your dad a Rush fan? Is your dad a Rush fan? You know, the Rush, the big Canadian rock band.
No.
I don't even know what that is.
You have to ask your dad. Dave
dad.
wants to know if you like Rush.
Ask your dad if he's ever heard of the band
You guys,
Rush.
Dave grew up like listening to like hard rock crazy
So those
stuff like
are-
AC/DC is his favorite.
Okay.
Those are big time.
I grew up in New
Canadians,
York
Rush.
playing basketball. So what type of music do you think I love the
Snoop
most?
Dogg is
No,
what he's.
jazz.
I'm a hip hop.
Oh,
Yeah, hip hop rap.
I'm hip hop rap because I'm from New York and play basketball. He's hard rock because he grew up in Utah. I don't know what he was doing, but AC/DC is his favorite.
Just being a guy.
Yeah, just being a guy.
Just being a guy.
Okay. Whose turn is it?
Mine.
Favorite pizza?
Ooh, right now Hawaiian.
Hawaiian?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there a place you go that's like, you wouldn't have to advertise, but is there a place you're like, oh, if I'm going to get a Hawaiian, it's got to be here?
No.
Any Hawaiian?
Just any Hawaiian.
Okay.
Pineapple and ham.
Livy?
Oh, my favorite piece is cheese.
Just plain cheese?
Cheese pizza.
She's like the Lavelle Edwards of ice cream. Lavelle Edwards' favorite ice cream was vanilla.
No.
So,
Any cheese pizza is good on literally everything.
anything.
Or
Cheese
Okay.
pizza.
Cheese
All right.
pizza it
I
is.
didn't see that coming. I thought there was some topping.
Livy's first on this one. Favorite ice cream type and flavor?
ooh, I really like Graham Canyon.
That seems to
I'm
be
serious.
the thing.
That's
That
our number
one?
one in the show, by the way.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. I literally cannot live without it. It's actually so good.
Graham Canyon from the
Yes.
creamery, right?
From the creamery.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Delaney?
I hate to say this, but Tillamook's vanilla,
No.
old fashioned vanilla.
She
See?
likes cotton candy.
But
I do like cotton
do you
candy.
put something on the vanilla?
Yeah, usually.
Like caramel or chocolate?
caramel or
Caramel,
like
yeah.
berries or like
I like vanilla because you go any direction.
exactly. You can do so much with
You can
it.
do anything
So
you
Brenda
want.
knows, it's like, you're just like Brenda then. That's what she wants. She wants
Really?
vanilla with caramel on
You're
it.
not committed to a theme. You can just do whatever
Exactly.
you
Or
want.
like a heavy chocolate.
Yeah.
Okay. All
Okay.
right.
I'm gonna give you, this is one bonus question I wanted to ask you, but then we're gonna do 5 because I want to finish with number 5. So this is 4.5. And I'll ask you both together. When you two are on the floor together, is there a better guard tandem in the country?
No.
And why?
Because we're just like,
I feel like we're
Us.
so close and that like we read each other's minds on the floor.
So nobody better. Best in the NCAA.
and the energy is just like unmatched.
So-
Like,
I agree.
yeah.
And Liv, do you feel when you're out there, I got to get the ball to Delaney?
Yes. Oh my gosh.
I feel
oh
the,
my
I
gosh.
feel the other way.
No.
Who's a better lockdown defender? Wait, you both.
don't know.
So you're both. That's the key right there. They both can lock people down. They both can score, and that's what makes it
why
special.
they're good.
Okay, the best guard tandem in the country. So, okay, here's the real number 5. I just had to throw that one out there. So we just had celebrated Mother's Day, all right? So tell us about the most favorite trait you have seen in your mother. We'll start with Livy, with your mother, Erin.
Favorite trait?
Yeah. What's your favorite trait about your mom?
Personality trait, whatever.
Gosh, literally everything about my mom is great. I think just because I think the best trait my mom has is just like how much of a Christ-like person she is. And I'm just
so every trait.
yeah. Yeah. I don't know, but seriously, she's seriously like I wouldn't be here without her, and like the person I am is because of her today, and I'm just so thankful to even have her in my life. So, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
don't know.
And
No,
Delaney, your mom is Tanya.
Yeah.
Right? So tell us what your favorite trait about your mom, Tanya, is.
There's a lot, but she's someone who will do everything for everyone around her, and she won't ask for anything in return. And so she's constantly just like looking to help others. And also I love that she is someone who like she's very like strong in herself. So like what she believes, she's going to stand up for it. And I love that.
Nice. And you do the same.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
You do the same.
You guys they're both very Christ-like traits that you just talked about. So awesome.
What class did you two just come from?
Ooh, persuasive writing.
Persuasive
I didn't
writing?
have class. Mine are online.
You're right. Nice. Yeah, good.
Yep.
It
Just
was great. It was great.
do your
Long
homework.
day.
Don't get behind.
Oh, I've
So-
been behind.
Hey, thank you so much.
You guys realize if you don't spend some time over at the house this summer, then you're going to be in trouble with her.
We're gonna come.
Okay, we'll come every week.
Okay.
Sunday.
You can come over for Sunday
Pinky
dinner
promise, pinky
anytime.
promise.
Okay.
Thank you for
figured
being
it out
here.
with Brenda,
Thank
so.
you guys.
Delaney
Yes,
Gibb,
awesome.
Olivia Hamlin, we get a chance to call your games. We get a chance to associate with you through Cougar Tribe and all that stuff. You're just both very impressive people. So
We love you guys, and we love
Keep
what you
going.
represent. We
Thank
love
you,
everything
guys.
about you. So
You guys
thanks
are
for
the
coming on.
best. Y'all are the best.
all right,
Thanks, guys.
you guys are welcome anytime. Delaney Gibb, Olivia Hamlin, two of the stars on campus and on here on the Wise Guys tonight. So we'll do a line change there.
Yeah, we'll
Rob,
do a
you're
line
in.
change.
This is how we do this. And next time we have you in here, we'll be prepping the new season. All right.
Yeah.
It won't be too far away. That's awesome. Hey, Jack's got some parting gifts. So
And by the way, you two, when Lee was on the show, he told us about you watched some videos and that he went down the lane and dunked on somebody, and that both you and Delaney Livy said that you can dunk.
I had no
And he said, why did they act like they were surprised that I could dunk?
I was holding the phone and I was like,
Wait, Josh.
We thought that he was a.
hang on, DJ.
Wait a minute, DJ, you gotta
we
put it
need that
back on.
microphone.
So because
bonus
he's like, he
coverage.
told their story. He's like, yeah, I went down a lane, I threw it down on somebody, and Delaney and Liv both looked like, wait a minute, and I think he said that Delaney said, wait, you could dunk?
Well, that's Livy was.
I was holding the phone in the back of the seat and my jaw dropped because I was like, there is no way this is Coach Lee right now, because I thought he was a corner shooter. And then I saw him dunk it, and then he did this little face thing after, like,
Yeah,
flexed on
that's what he
someone.
does.
yes, like I was like, that is my coach. Whoa, he's cool.
Yeah, I thought we'd leave it because he was bragging about how he could dunk.
Find
so.
some old school footage. He was awesome.
He was a great player, guys.
Thank you, ladies.
See ya.
What a fun night. Delaney Gibb and Olivia Hamlin with us. Ryan Robinson, BYU superfan, and TJ Woods, the offensive line coach and run game coordinator. Maybe our best show ever.
Yeah,
It's
great
been
stuff.
a great vibe. We hope that you've joined it on the stream. We do want to tell you, we love our partnership with Cougar Tribe, which is a great way to connect with so many beyond the live show. And Delaney and Liv are connected with Cougar Tribe, along with Richie Saunders.
Right.
And a few others with us. If you haven't checked it out, you can go over to CougarTribe.com. You can join the community. It's free.
Yeah.
And that's our favorite price.
So if you haven't checked it out, you got to get over there. And we're having so much fun with it. Each week we ask for Cougar Tribe member questions, and tonight we selected 5 that we'll be answering after the show. 2 of them came from Cougar Tribe, and each of them will receive 1,000 Cougar coins to spend on the website.
And you can buy a bunch of stuff.
So congratulations to Naoma Ruth and Ryan Howell, who will get 1,000 Cougar coins each for their questions. The other 3 questions this week came from the Cougar Tribe staff because they had some they wanted answered. So we'll dive into those right after we wrap up here tonight. And that'll be content that's only available, full content answers exclusively on Cougar Tribe. So make sure you go over there and join. It's free.
Hey, Liv, quick question. Come over on our stream, checking in. Let's see.
Let's see. This one's on, I think.
Dennis
Olivia.
checking in from Bryan, Ohio. Does Olivia know Elder Ian Bybee?
And yes, I do.
Then yes, she does.
Oh
there
my
you
gosh.
go.
Wait, tell him I say hi. That is so fun.
Tell Ian Bybee hello from Bryan, Ohio. Does Olivia know?
Thanks, Liv.
I say hi.
That's awesome.
Bye, guys.
Thank you. See you. On this day, May 11th, some cool things happen in the world. Let's go back to 1068.
Yeah, in 1068, Matilda of Flanders was crowned the first queen of England.
Yeah, England was never the same.
Matilda of Flanders.
Yeah.
I'm glad you did your research on that because I did not know that. That's something I did not know.
That was a turning point in world history,
Yes,
Matilda.
it was.
In 1812, on this day, the waltz is introduced in English ballrooms.
Have you ever done the waltz? Do you do the waltz?
Yeah, I think so.
Isn't it 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3?
Something like that.
Yeah, I think I can do the waltz still. In 1858, Minnesota was admitted as the 32nd state in the United States.
Shout out to Cougar fans in Minnesota.
Absolutely.
In 1928, General Electric opens the first television station in Schenectady, New York. Does that sound right?
Schenectady.
Schenectady, New York.
Not too far from where I grew up. In 1947, B.F. Goodrich announces the development of the tubeless tire in Akron, Ohio.
Seemed like we needed that.
Yeah, we did need that.
Yeah. 1970, the Beatles' The Long and Winding Road becomes their last American single release.
Wow. I forgot
this day.
That's wild.
How about that?
In 1980, Pete Rose steals second, third, and home in the same inning.
In the same inning.
Yeah.
How do
Not
you
just
even
in the
do
same
that?
game, in the same inning.
May 11th birthdays, 1888, Irving Berlin, composer and songwriter. God bless America.
In 1950, Dane Orge, BYU Major League Baseball player, World Series hero. By the way, you can watch his Wise Guys interview right here. You can go find his name and watch it. It was great. He was born on this day, May 11th.
Wiseguys.com. He's a great storyteller.
Yeah.
How about 1959? Martha Quinn, an MTV VJ. We all grew up with Martha Quinn.
Yeah, everybody knew who Martha Quinn was, and she was just a little.
And if you listen to 80s on 8 on satellite radio, there she is.
She was understated and just so cool.
Yeah,
Martha Quinn. So, 1983, Matt Leinart, the Heisman Trophy winner and broadcaster, was born on this day. Played against BYU.
Mm-hmm.
So.
May 11th deaths in 1889. John Cadbury, the founder of Cadbury Chocolate Company. Cadbury eggs.
I think I ate a piece of Cadbury chocolate earlier today. So
well, that's his legacy.
1960, John D. Rockefeller, the financier, great New York legend, was died on this day, May 11th, in
1981. Bob Marley, the singer, died on this day.
We've been to Jamaica several times. He's still a legend down there. In 2020, Jerry Stiller, Frank Costanza on Seinfeld.
he did some other stuff,
yep.
But his career came together.
Yes,
when he was Frank Costanza.
So
our Wise Guys inspirational quote of the week is from Irving Berlin, who said,
"Life is 10% of what you make it, and 90% of how you take it."
Think about that.
Yeah,
10% of what you make it, 90% of how you.
Basically,
take
saying keep your knees bent and just go with the flow.
Yeah, because stuff's going to happen.
That's right. So,
thanks to BYU offensive line coach and run game coordinator TJ Woods, basketball stars Delaney Gibb and Olivia Hamlin. Boy, weren't they
awesome.
A blast! And BYU superfan Ryan Robinson kicks off a whole new tradition here on the show.
Hope you'll join us. One of you will join us here in the near future. Next week, Rachel Higginson, the mastermind in charge of keeping the Cougars hydrated and healthy, will be on the show.
We got a lot of questions for her because that's a big deal.
Yep. BYU grad Bryce Lake, Vice President of Development with Smith Entertainment. That includes the Jazz, by the way, and the Mammoth.
Maybe he'll tell us what they're going to trade.
Yeah, and then we have another really great BYU pathway story because Melanie Zanchi, is that how you say it?
I think so.
Yeah. She's going to join us live from Argentina. How about that?
We are the world. Maybe we should sing "We Are the World"
right
to open our show. But yeah, we'll be connected with BYU Pathway in Argentina.
There you go. So
next week.
Where you can find us this week, you're going to be on the Deseret News all week. But don't forget, BYU versus Utah Valley Tuesday at 6, tomorrow night at 6, and then Kansas Thursday through Saturday on ESPN Plus. Dave's going to be calling all of those games.
That's a full week. What are you going to do? You're going to suntan or what?
I've got to go on the road this week, so I'm leaving for Seattle. Yep. So, how about let's tell them about Redmond Night again.
We're
Dave.
thrilled to invite all of you to Redmond Night with the Wise Guys Monday, June 15th. We'll broadcast our show live from the Redmond Heritage Farm Store on 8th North in Orem, home of Redmond Re-Lyte. We'll have special guests, free tacos, and Re-Lyte drinks. And we'll have a great time right there in the parking lot together. We invite everybody who can get there to get there and make history with us. It's our first remote show. Who knows where we're going to go after this one.
Make history with us.
Redmond Night with the Wise Guys. We love the name. June 15th. Circle it on the calendar at the Redmond Heritage Farm Store on 8th North in Orem. And remind you that when it comes to Redmond Re-Lyte, the secret is always in the salt. And so we're going to party in June. That'll be fun.
And we want to remind everybody of Stadium of Fire, which my good friend Dave will be emceeing again this year. Get your tickets for Stadium of Fire, featuring Brad Paisley at stadiumfire.com. BYU grad Jim Evans, the executive director of America's Freedom Festival at Provo, will join the show as we get closer to the event, as he does every year, to let us know all that's going on with the Freedom Festival. Brad just did an interview with NBC. I retweeted it on my X account. You can go find that out on Twitter or X, whatever we're calling it. And it talks about what he loves about America and music, and he's coming to town. It's going to be awesome. Yeah. I want to remind everybody that Wise Guys is presented by Brady Plus, supplies plus support. Find out more at bradyplus.com. And by Mountain America Credit Union, empowering dreams for over 80 years. Find out what they can do for you at macu.com, MACU.com. And our Re-Lyte Athlete of the Week is always presented by Redmond. The secret is in the salt. Learn what it can do for you at redmond.com. Wise Guys is distributed by the Deseret News. It's going to be a long week until we're together again. But we do love this show, don't we? But we will see you all again next Monday night right here.
Next Monday. Thanks, everybody.